A dream wrapped to spin fire. The NFT analyzer. Diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From mint coins to tokens. He's got all the intel. Web3 is a tree to show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures flow. Web3 wonders, chain reactors on the scene.
And we are live. Good morning, guys. Mega GMs. Welcome to the Swarm Report Community Edition, Friday edition, Halloween edition too. I was telling Kat, I want to dress up so bad. You know what sucks, dude? Like, the fun has been sucked out of the space, right? Like, do we all agree it's a lot less fun than it used to be, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm having a blast.
Oh well, shit. All right, you gotta tell us what's the fun out there.
I mean, I have so much fun in prediction markets right now. I don't know.
Okay, well,
I have fun with friends again.
Well, that's cool. Okay, well, because that's the best part of the space is when you're actually doing shit and having fun and right. And I don't know, the market hasn't been fun. In fact, the talk in the timeline is super interesting. Because we're back to talking about like cycles over, and I don't buy it. But we're back to like that, and the sentiment is as bad as I can remember. To me, it's worse than the bear market. But like even for a while, even over the summer, I think a lot of us were in that place of it's not fun. And so like I was thinking about Halloween, and just like it just hit me. I wasn't thinking of dressing up for Halloween because I just wasn't feeling like anything is fun right now. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid, because that's like a state of mind, right? It's kind of in your head if it's fun or not, if you're making like the best of things too. So like last minute I tried to get something together and didn't happen, but I'm gonna try to get a costume here at least for like later in the day and when the kids are trick-or-treating and all that, right? So I don't know, but I'm glad to hear some people are having fun out there. Let's do a quick round of GMs here. And just a quick, overview on what today's show is going to be. Gravity's here again early. Dude, extra early for Gravity. Holy cow, dude. Cats woke him up again, I think.
Team no sleep.
Apparently. Good Lord. J-Dog, good morning. Catsy, good morning. I hope Catsy's saying the bottom is in. I wouldn't be shocked at all, man. And I also wouldn't be shocked if we go lower, and I wouldn't care if we go lower, because no matter what, nothing's changed for me, man.
It's all going to zero, and we're all going to the moon.
There we go. Actually, that's fair. 90% of this stuff is going to zero, and 10% of it's going to get absolutely ridiculous. And I kind of always scouring for topics and storylines, and there's plenty of people who still see that thing we do, which is great. Okay, first hour. Community hour. Like I said, this is for you guys to come up and chat if you want, have your takes, get involved with the conversation. We got a lot to talk about today. We have prediction markets. We have robots. We have virtuals, and there's a lot of spicy stuff going on over in virtuals. Probably very little NFT talk today, if anything. I just think NFTs, if there's somewhere that's kind of dead, it's kind of NFTs right now. But then again, when you guys are up and chatting with us, anything is fair game. So conversation goes wherever we want. I love that, Catsy. Virtual season. I'm with you. Virtual is feeling really good right now. Finally had some really good launches over there over the past week. And I think there's a lot more to come, including Virtual's announcing their new hackathon winners. This was over on Ethereum, and some of them look pretty damn spicy. So I'll put this on the screen in a minute here, but did a little digging just to find people's handles on X so we can start digging into those teams. And we got about half of them. Half those teams, we got their handles, so we can start diving into who they are and what they're building, but it spans everything. It's robotics, and it's DeFi, and it's prediction markets, and there's options trading, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed there. What I don't see is just like pure companions, which I don't know if that means anything or not, but yeah, we'll get into some of those projects here today. J-Dog, Mute is looking spicy as well. I think Mute's got a big role to play in whatever the next round of virtuals updates are. So should be cool. Guys, hit the like on the show. We are live on X, both video stream and Spaces. Spaces is on my account. It's Hudah_idiot if you want to come up and chat. Abstract, we're live, and then YouTube. Make sure you come over to YouTube though and subscribe over here, guys. Let's get into it. Let's kick it off with the market. Let's just even get a temp check. It's the last day of the month. Supposed to be October. Hasn't really played out. We started the month at, I think, 116. I think we let me double check, but I think anyway, right now 109K. Not actually 110. Nice little pump here in the past, I don't know, hour or so at least. 110, not bad. But let me peek. Yeah, October 1st it was at 116. So it looks like there's almost no way we finish with like a real October. It might actually end up being one of the worst performing Octobers we've seen. So then it's on to like the November narrative and whatever that might be. And for what it's worth, I think it's going to be great. I do. Government reopens, I think it's game on. And there are some interesting takes out there about what the government shutdown actually meant to the market, why we're, I don't know, kind of where we're at. And it does have a little something to do with that. ETH 3,800, Ripple 251, BNB 1086, and then Solana 188. It looks fine. It's like everybody's all doom and gloom out there, and it's fine. This is very normal bull market kind of action. It kind of is. It's just the timeline's full, kind of unrelenting FUD. Temp check with you cats. I know what the answer will be because we're similar there, but just feeling still fine.
Would help if I got my mute. Man, I don't care what the prices are right now. Like, I still think we're in for a big Q4 overall. I still think, like Katsy said, I think virtual season is upon us again. Base season, all of it. We're going higher. I put in a prediction market bet yesterday on PredictBase that Bitcoin hits at least 140 by the end of the year.
That was your
Let's
mark?
go. No, I just saw it and I was like, it's gonna happen. Let's go.
Okay, I was gonna say
I put a yes on that market.
There you go. Well, dude, I saw that and it's got like almost 40,000 in volume, which is like a monster.
I'm part of
I bet
that.
on it this morning too, dude. Same thing. I took the yes on it. I felt like that was easy, and I'm gonna keep buying it as long as it's like odds are where it's at right now, somewhere around 30. I think right now 30%. I'll take that, man, for sure.
PredictBase. There you go. You fill our sentiment right there. If we're betting yes on 140 by the end of the year.
That's it. Yeah. And I kind of can't see it not happening. We got, okay, the good news out of, US-China relations and the trade war and whatever, we got good news in the past few days and it didn't move the market. The opposite happened. And that was more on fears with around the government shutdown and that we're not going to get inflation data. And that means we're not guaranteed, not that we're ever guaranteed, but we may not get a rate cut in December. And I think that's got the markets a little spooked right now. And I get it. That said, I'd be really surprised if we're not reopened. Well, I'll tell you, this weekend's going to get real interesting, maybe. Really interesting with Snap and people not getting their food stamps and assistance. And that could get ugly real quick. That's going to put some pressure on the government to reopen, I think, I hope.
Yeah, Cats needs a paycheck, so we need to get reopened.
Oh, you're impacted by this, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Wow. How does this work? You still have to work and you just don't get paid, or do you not work right now?
Yeah, I'm not trying to dox myself too hard, but I am an accepted government employee, so I still have to work, yes.
And you just don't get paid?
Correct. Until this is over. We get back pay.
What a crazy thing. No, they got to get this fixed ASAP. Politics is just the worst. We'll see. When it reopens, I think the good times resume. I certainly hope. But then we got all this fuckery out there. Nobody knows like what is actually happening. The accusations that it's winter mute nuke in the markets, and I don't think it's that, right? I think OG General put out a post saying, hey, if it's that, could somebody explain it? Could somebody actually finally, instead of everybody just speculating on the timeline, could somebody tell us what's going on? And I didn't see an answer to the post, but like, I don't know, man. Am I crazy for thinking it's not some like dirty, scammy thing happening? This is just what the more matured market looks like. I don't know. And I don't know if we ever find out. So,
yeah, we won't.
That's probably true. ETFs, interesting. 488 million outflows in the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. Over on the ETH side, 184 mil in outflows, and then Solana with that new was it the what was the new Solana one? I forget, whatever. B sold from Bitwise, that was it. 37 mil in inflows yesterday. Yeah, on the Solana side. This was a quick comment here from London Crypto Club, and he's showing the Treasury General account. I'm not going to pretend like I understand what this means. I've read about this for a while now. I should know, right? But this is a reflection of the government shutdown and money not being, it's not paid out, but, kind of used to fund or put into the market. It's just sitting there collecting, and they're just basically issuing debt here until the government's reopened, and then they start emptying out this account. But it correlates right along with the government shutdown. And that's why there's this thought that we reopen, we're back to cooking. And then there's the crime thing. I don't think we have time to really get into that, but SBF with a tweet here. This is actually bullshit. But saying that anybody who lost money in the FTX, kind of collapse was made whole plus some, which is ridiculous, dude. Because we all remember, people got reimbursed, but at what was it, like 2018 or 19 prices, something like that. Just ridiculous stuff. But people pay attention when SBF has a tweet out there, so is what it is. Beanie with a tweet about the market here too. I more often than not, I agree with Beanie, and his take is kind of like ours, like the time horizon. This is why I don't get super bearish. I might say I'm bored in the space, but my thoughts about where we're going never changes because of this. Beanie's saying that his time horizon is like years. It's not today, and that my bags are down today, and I'm like fucking bummed about it. I'm not. It's not today. It's not tomorrow. It's not a week from now. It's not a month from now. It's not even a year from now. For me, still, it's the 2030 date. I'll reevaluate as we get closer to that, by the way. Like, I could absolutely be wrong. But when, this robot meta that's just kind of emerging or just getting a little more mature continues to mature, I think that has an impact on the economy. Who doesn't think that, right? And the same with AI. And I think that has a massive impact on the crypto market. 2030 is when I have all my thoughts and predictions about prices and where this space is going. Right now, to me, doesn't matter a single bit. I just kind of want to be entertained along the way. And to your point earlier, Cats, prediction markets sure as hell do that. They sure as hell can give you something to focus on, turn everything into an event. So it's fair. And then Beanie also, in general, like pretty bearish on crypto right now, but at the same time says he still sees Bitcoin to a mil. I just like seeing those things that, again, line up with how we're feeling and thinking. And more of that, please. More reasonable takes on the timeline when, dude, adoption's just ramping up. Like, crypto adoption's getting crazy. Jamie Dimon with a comment here, and I think this was actually recent. I think it was just yesterday, but, commenting that he was wrong about crypto and that it's real and, like, kind of not admitting to whatever, just, the blockchain tech really does work and it really is important. And we're going to see the financial systems like on crypto rails. It's coming and the dominoes are falling and they're all going to be here. So I need it, including something like this. Western Union coming on chain. On Solana, there was a little controversy about this too, but Western Union has chosen Solana at least for a period of exclusivity. But they're launching a stable coin over there. Another stable coin, dude. We knew this was coming too. Like a never-ending supply of stable coins. But
absolutely.
Yeah, WUUSD. So yeah, they're coming with a stable coin. Solana, first half of 2026. There's, again, some drama there that they were paid by Solana to be exclusive over there, and that's probably true. People were accusing them of paying like what? I think it was like $25 million to have them come over there. Again, it is true that they paid. I don't think it was anything near 25 mil, but this is the game. These are businesses too. No problem there for me. Well, okay. Really why I'm so optimistic about this, and this will kind of take us into robotics because, it was a big week for robotics, but it's the innovation that I think is going to fuel crypto. Like, really, I mean, and I don't mean just like little cool iterations on things we're doing. No, I think we're going to see stuff come along here that are like, holy shit, never would have guessed or seen that coming. I never, like, just things that change everything about our tech and what it looks like. There was an example. Did you see this, Cats, yesterday or day before? This kind of blew up. It's called Extropic. It's a new kind of like CPU or chip.
No, I didn't see that.
Crazy.
My timeline is different currently.
I think so. Yeah. Well, I'll butcher this, but the TLDR of it is this thing doesn't compute, by just kind of calculating ones and zeros, right? Like that's how we think of current computers. It's a one or a zero, and it uses that to, kind of read and transact or whatever. I'm going to butcher it, but this thing uses AI and it has these things in more like quantum states, and it's predictive. And these bits of data can be like one or zero, and it can kind of be in between at any given time. Again, what that means, what I don't know, but I think that means faster computing, maybe smarter computing. You get more compute per little bit of energy. It's interesting. Again, I don't know what it means other than holy shit, if they can change how computing works, well, game on. Things get different all of a sudden. And it's innovation like that I'm looking for and that I expect to see over the next few years. I do. So I saw that. Actually, I'll drop the video in the chat because it is pretty fucking interesting. There we go. Worth a watch, guys. It's a 5-minute video. It is cool. If that thing works, and if I start hearing other voices that I know, respect, whatever, talking about, and they're like, holy shit, this is kind of a game changer, then there we go. Game starts changing. Money starts looking different again, right? That's what I'm waiting for. Anyway, interesting stuff. But this week, the birth of Neo, not really, but Neo was at least served up to us, well, consumers really. Neo, the companion robot or the home robot, you can order it now. This is a robot that it'll live in your house. It'll do chores. What does this fucker do? He's a companion, chores. Yeah, that's kind of it right now. And actually, when I say those things he can do, he can't really do them yet.
I was gonna say this actually was like more of a turnoff to me than anything. Like what? That it would be more in the way than it would be helpful.
Yeah. When you see that, like, half the tasks he was asked to do, he couldn't do. And then you got a phone support and you get a tech guy that dials in and like remote controls the robot and has him do your shit. It sounds like it's actually going to like eat up more time out of your day. It's kind of ridiculous.
Exactly. This is like, yeah, we're not there yet.
We're so not there yet. And then again, 5 years out, I think we might be there. I think we will be, but I just say might be there. But it's at least cool that we're getting further along, right? Like AI still isn't where I thought we'd be, although it's actually a lot closer now, like a lot closer where I thought we'd be. The tools are starting to look pretty interesting, but yeah, the robot thing ain't there yet. If you're a tech head, like if you just eat this shit up, I get it. I get why you'd want one of these things, even just to play around. And when you find out it doesn't work, it's going to do like what the Apple Vision Pro does. It's going to sit in a box somewhere. This poor dude, I actually feel bad for him because it's so, he's got the face. It's going to make me feel something for him, but he's probably going to be packed away in a suitcase and tucked under your bed or something and not touched. And then he's going to wake up one day when you're sleeping and he's going to murder you. Is probably how it's going to go.
Yeah, no kidding. But on the tech support side, that's the whole point. We're about to have a launch in 40 minutes on virtuals. That's literally the whole point of Hexar. Like that's what they do. So that sort of stuff makes sense to me. If you're going to have an AI like LLM focused on troubleshooting this stuff, kind of makes sense if you're going in robots direction.
Dude, I liked Hexar, but I can't say I was bullish on Hexar, like specifically the token. And it for me, it changed. They came on the show yesterday and it changed. I'm bullish on that whole idea. I don't know how business savvy they are. I couldn't get a feel for that, right? I could definitely get a feel for the team's experience. So that I felt confident about. And the idea, I'm like, oh, the idea is there. It's a great idea. Especially if this platform, this AI tool can help you jailbreak stuff. That's cool. I could see like normies like wanting to get into that and use it. Like I used to love doing that stuff. Like I would go and break all my toys and, pirate stuff and whatever. Anything I could do, I would. But like where he really got me is when I mentioned on the show, I used to manage a help desk. And so like working in tech support and understanding like how hard it is keeping knowledge bases updated, how a lot of that stuff still is like it's just the guidelines. Then you got to get creative with your troubleshooting. And so I always knew that some kind of AI would replace help desks, just even the phone call part or remoting into somebody's computer and piloting it and driving around and checking stuff. I'm like, dude, that'll be run by AI. And I a couple of years back thought it would be by right now that would happen. Help desks would be obsolete. And that's just another example of I'm probably too early with that thought. But this thing clicked for me yesterday. I'm like, holy shit, this might actually get us there where right now this is a companion to like a help desk worker or a customer service, right? But I bet you at this point in a few years, this does start replacing people. at least keeps your help desk staff way more lean and actually makes them a lot better. So if this guy's got like that business savvy and can make those connections and can get in front of businesses and pitch it and sell this thing, that kind of product could be a monster product. So I'm bullish on it all of a sudden. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy his, like, I would like to, if I were like, just like pretty liquid right now, I'd buy it to support and think that there's an opportunity there right now. I don't know, but I like the project. I like the idea. So, he kind of won me over there. Choina, curious because I don't really follow virtuals. Is there an agent that can do your dude? That's fucking funny. I was just thinking of that this morning, man. I was just thinking, I don't think there is, but what I was thinking, dude, was I was thinking about our ecosystem, like Slant, because people don't know you can use our data and calculate your P&L. And like, so you can literally build like a tax application software, whatever, with the Slam data that we have. But no, Choina, I think there's stuff out there, but I don't know of any major ones. So I think it's an opportunity. I do. Build it, dude. Choina, build it, or somebody here should build it. It's a great idea. Let's see. Let's get to some virtuals here. Well, still a little on the robot stuff, and then we'll jump to virtuals, and we'll kind of be quick because again, we got PredictBase coming up shortly. Perfect for Halloween. I think, okay, this is stupid as hell, man, but Halloween decoration is going to get kind of cool with robots too. Drones and robots, the spooky shit. Check this out. You guys can't see on Spaces, but this is a robot in front of somebody's house that all of a sudden goes like exorcist mode. No audio for you guys, but dude, would that not scare the shit out of you? I hadn't made the connection. I hadn't thought about robots and Halloween stuff, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's gonna
yeah. No, I'm out. Like, if I'm trick or treating at that house, it's over. I'm running.
Yep, dude, I would lose my shit. But fucking awesome. Again, like robots are gonna sell like crazy. They just are. It's gonna get fun. We got all these robotics projects on virtuals and beyond too. But in virtuals, we got a lot. With some new ones coming, dude. The virtuals Ethereum hackathon, again, they tweeted out their list of winners. Some of them look pretty awesome. All right, let me pull this up. Let's zoom in a little bit. Their number one, well, their winner is called Formicarium. It is a robotics project. In fact, let me pull up their X account real quick. Formicarium.
That name's too difficult.
It is. And that's a problem. It can't be difficult. There it is. It's a decentralized platform where an AI agent coordinates a fleet of autonomous machines and robots. Oh, to manufacture customized products. Oh, shit. That's different, man. It's not just, yeah. Ooh. Let me pop on their website. Maybe they don't have quite yet. And guys, if you want the other list of winners, or just while we're chatting here, I found like 5 out of the 10. And we'll go over each one, but that Formicarium, Black Swan, Isaac Protocol, Rate Hopper, and Maxit. So we found those. 5 of them are not on the board yet. That I found, they might be out there. But like I was thinking last time around, some of them didn't have an X account till like right before their launch, right? So yeah, just don't expect that they're all live yet. And then I remember last time we even had one project that never ended up launching.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Like, that doesn't even mean that all of them will even have a token. Or ever launch.
That's a good point. They could launch the product, not ever have a token, but then why would they do the virtual? But yeah, some of them might not launch, like period. Building the autonomous machine economy. Decentralized hive for autonomous robots, agents. Yeah, I'd like to know what it is the product is. If it matters. It was interesting. I was listening to Bread Guy this morning on the Modern Market Show. He was talking about the only tokens he's buying into is like tokens that like have a product. And I'm like, that's cool. It's probably a little more safe, sound, whatever. But it's still like we talk about this a lot, Cats. It's like you still have a product and it doesn't mean anything for most of these coins. Like most of the coins still don't have like any real utility in the project.
You have to take it a step further. Does the product revenue actually have any effect on the token? Do they have buybacks or what? I mean, is there any pressure put on the token from the revenue? Because if not, then why do you have a token?
Yeah. Now this could be extra interesting. Okay, if this is now talking about a platform and maybe a token that powers a fleet of robots. And let's just like, we'll play fantasy. Let's say every robot in a fleet needs a token to transact. It's just their reward system and it's their gas, to operate. Now that's where I can start seeing tokens having like great utility. Again, just as a gas token, but in a fleet of hundreds of robots that have to spend it to like that's where it could start getting really cool. And so I could picture, I'll go 5 years out again, where tokens and utility could be much spicier looking, just because, it's not just a person needs to use it. It could be a person and thousands of robots. And it's not like do I want to use it or whatever. It's like, I have to. This is just how I'm programmed. I have to use the token to do this task. And that could get really fun. So watching for that. We have Soros placing at number 2, which is options trading. I like that. I feel like we've seen some options trading products, but none that have like crushed it.
I was going to say, I don't even care, because every time we get hyped options trading, what does it ever do? I mean, who knows? Maybe we want to break there. Next.
Yeah, it could just be early and we were, like tech just wasn't there, and maybe it's closer. But I'm with you. Again, some of these things, most of these things, I'm like, we've hit that narrative.
What's my Stratos doing?
That's a good one. Not much. Yeah, not much at all. Black Swan at number 3. It's a DeFi research project. Again, cool. We've seen hundreds of those at this point. Have any of them like excelled? And maybe they all have. It's just like an adoption thing, but I'm not sure. But like I've always said too, when I look at the DeFi tokens, I'm expecting an explosion there. I am, like, where the top DeFi token is like 60 mil market cap. I still do believe, and I really believe it, that we'll see some of those valued at like 500 mil or a bill. I do think we'll get there, because I believe they will change how we trade. But I also believe we're pretty early on that front too. Now there's going to be a moment where something happens and all of a sudden it goes from early to game fucking on. And like we saw with like 402 booming, something like that, but in DeFi and established projects that like a lot of us would probably be sitting in those tokens early. So,
but in your opinion, in that case, like, what makes the DeFi token itself valuable?
Yeah, it's kind of like you said, it has to have utility there. You have to use it to maybe unlock a certain token strategy. Like maybe that winning strategy where you're like, oh, fuck, this thing is like regularly printing like 2x's or whatever that is, right?
So I'm going to give you the example, because this is the stuff I look at, right? And I mean, this is what made me bullish on FYI from the beginning, is because now they're setting up those strategies and they have different ones, like depending on the agent you want to follow. But you have to stake a certain amount of FYI, their token, to actually get access to all that for it to trade for you eventually. But the way they do it is the first person in has a cheaper like cost on that token gate, and every person after it's a little more expensive until there's a cap. So literally, I mean, then you have to have that token if you want to have access to that. And see, that sort of stuff makes sense to me. It becomes more exclusive and all that. But otherwise, like, if you don't have a utility that you need that token, like, what makes the token valuable? I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
No, and that's the thing. I think nobody's really figured it out. Or they figured it out and it's just you can't drive enough utility here yet. And I think it's more that. So I'm with you. Somebody's gonna crack that nut. I hope. I believe it though. Monopoly AI placed 4. It's AgentFi GameFi. That's the exact thing where I'm like, pass, right? Like you said before, it's like it sounds like it's an agent, period, like a personality, and maybe there's a game there, cool, but we've seen some of those so far. Nothing really has worked. And by the way, Mufasa and Hoods, good morning. And Cryptori, are you still there? You are there. You were asking, what is Swarm utility? Right now, utility for Swarm is unlocking more features on the Swarm Copilot. I'll send you some info on that after. I think there's more Swarm utility to come. I think there's a lot we're cooking still. And then you also asked if we go into X402. We're not going to go into X402 just because I don't think it's worth the time. That's not to like belittle the tech. It's fucking awesome. It's payment rails, but like I've just been clowning on the X402 meta for the week here. It's just everybody's saying X402 tokens. I'm like, everything technically is an X402 token if they want to be. So it's just a narrative I wouldn't buy into. It's payment rails and it's really, really great. But
it's the internet.
It's basically the internet. Yeah. It's a funny thing that popped up, and again, it's awesome, but yeah. Isaac Protocol at 5. Now this is where I start liking it. It's robotics. Robotics and DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure. I like. I don't think they have a lot of info out there yet. So like most of these things, we're waiting until they put out some more info and give us a sneak peek at what they're working on, but we'll see. Rate hopper at 6, yield optimization. Now that I like, dude, by the way, like I like, and you do some yield farming, I think. Is that right?
I do. I
Okay.
use Sail right now. But there's Katana. There's so many of these right now. To me, okay, I can see it working. I don't know about the token. Again, why do you need the token to yield farm? Unless it's token gating access, but then what was the point? I don't.
Yep, I'm with you there. There's something there that I feel like is going to work. Just like I think the neobank meta going to boom. I think there's going to be something to like vaults and yield strategy and stuff with tokens.
Dude,
but
everybody's like, that's, I mean, even Coinbase does it right now. Wallets are going to have this. Like every crypto anything's going to have a yield farm for stable coins, because stable coins are going to be everywhere. So the thing about the yield optimization, so that's what Sail does. It literally, it moves my money. It's an AI agent that goes between a bunch of different yields, and it'll move it to wherever the best yield at the time is to maximize your gains per day. So, and that's what I imagine, yield optimization is. Now, hopefully we get to the point where it's, multi-chain and all this, but yeah, there's going to be stable coins everywhere. There's going to be stable coin yields everywhere because they need lenders. And, so the optimization's cool. I just, again, don't know if you need a token for that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see with that one. Rate Hopper, I think, has been around for a minute too. Just looking at their X account, it's not new. They've got a lot of activity, so you can definitely do some research into Rate Hopper. Zobiide, it's, what is that, number 5, 7? It's DeFi prediction market and election technology, which the election technology is interesting. I don't know if that means it could be like a new, like, I don't know, like, I'm thinking, what was it, like Dominion, the voting system? That was like the physical machines that we all heard of like a couple elections ago. I wonder if there is some kind of new election platform, software, whatever, that comes out of the whole agentic space. I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking at that just because it's saying some words that I think are hot. Prediction markets is the biggest one, but election technology gets me a little more interested. At 8, something else, this DeFi. So we'll see. At 9, same thing. This is MaxWit. Also DeFi, and also number 2, all the last 3 are all DeFi tools, products, whatever. Wouldn't shock me if any of them come out and end up being like fucking sweet. Nothing will shock me, but also again, we've kind of been there.
Yeah, nobody's fully unlocked. I'm still using quite a few DeFi products. I mean, actually, Axelrod's made money for me lately, so that's,
oh, no kidding.
That's new. And like Replicats, I reopened an agent with them again. FYIs, I mean, there's so many products out that I like using them, but nobody's blowing me away with gains yet.
But cool to hear that, like, you're making money with Axelrod. That's pretty fucking
cool. Yep, that's an improvement.
Yeah. They've been buggy lately. Has that been on their side or is that on the virtual side?
So the ACP part on Butler part has been buggy. I mean, even last night, like I did a swap for 150 USDC and it didn't go through. I was going to put in a ticket this morning and they had refunded it like 5 hours later. But yeah, they're definitely still working out bugs. But everybody, they've got almost 100,000 transactions lately because of the ACP farming.
Oh, that's pretty spicy. That's a lot. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How much higher is that than, let's say, even like 2 weeks ago?
I mean, there wasn't even 2 weeks ago, there wasn't even 5,000 ACP transactions, and now Axelrod's got almost 100,000 itself.
That's crazy.
It's a lot. But I mean, we've kind of talked about it last week too. That's where you get all your points. I mean, I'm not farming that hard this week. If you want to move into this stuff, we can. But I'm putting in more volume than I was, but not near as many transactions. And even yesterday, I think I did, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 transactions on Butler, and I got over 500 points on my ACP score. So I mean, I'm top 300 again right now. But like yesterday, that airdrop was, I don't know, I think worth $150. I mean, you can get $150 per airdrop. Like, it's worth participating.
How'd you do, by the way, airdrop wise? And also your buddy Trey's here. What's up, Trey?
How are you doing, guys?
Hey, Trey, I told him you might be coming up asking questions.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All
You're a
right.
little muffled, but
Sick. Yeah, I had some technical difficulties this morning, but I got my screen recorder on and I'm clipping, so make some good takes.
There we
nice.
go. Nice. Love it, dude. Yeah, how'd you do farming wise? Because I knew you were making an effort there and some of the other like kind of
Yeah, I mean, last week was really hard because everybody knew there was good launches coming. It was really saturated last week. You can already feel that there's not as many people participating this week. I mean, it's still, like I said, I'm not doing as many transactions. I'm essentially in the same spot. I was top 300 last week. I'm top 300 right now. And I'm only doing, like, I'm going through a couple times a day and doing some transactions.
Yeah, I still haven't done anything Butler wise worth doing. Like, are you thinking it's worth the time?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, actually, last week I actually made money on trades, which is weird because I'm usually a terrible trader. But you know, and it's not like I made a ton of money, but I at least made enough to cover the cost of all the fees that's happening when you're doing all these trades. And so essentially, it cost me nothing. And like I said, even my Lurky airdrop was worth 150 bucks yesterday. CEO was worth similar. I mean, you know, a few $100 in airdrops a week is definitely worth it.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, considering how the space has been, I would take a few $100 if that's like up, right? If you're up that on, you know, even on trades, but up in airdrop, whatever. That's yeah, I dig that. Good launches this week. It's a good week to have a ranking on the leaderboard too.
Yeah, that's why everybody went hard last week because it's a good week to be in.
Yeah, big launches this week. Would we say it's just Jeff CEO and Lurky, and those two are great?
Yeah, those are the two big ones, and we'll see how Hexar does today.
I'm not expecting much out of them market cap wise. You? Yeah.
No, not really.
So Jeff looked good. We had Jeff CEO on the show this week. I like the tool product. I still need to understand it. I really do. Like, it all sounded good, but also it sounded technical, and I didn't wrap my head around it. But Lurky, we know Lurky very well, and we use Lurky, and Lurky's lurking this space right now, and a great team and a great product and a unique product. So Lurky's special. I'm not shocked a little bit to see Lurky sitting at almost a 6 mil FDV. I think this thing's going way higher, like way higher. I do. Because I was thinking about it myself, right? I have an airdrop to claim, and it gets me just under the threshold of what you need to be holding to unlock some access to the platform. And I'm trying to remember what those perks are, but it's things like I want to say it was like access to like alpha reports, token reports, things like that. You need to have 20,000 Lurky. Well, I'm going to be able to claim 17,000. I'm definitely buying 3,000 more so I can hit that 20,000 level and then use the tool. I'm definitely going to be doing that because, again, I know the team. I know they're going to keep building this thing, and they're already doing that very, very, very unique thing. When they start doing this next phase where they connect like advertisers or projects people want to promote with content creators, I'm like, they're doing something that I think a lot of people didn't see the need for. If you're a content creator, you know the need for that. Rather than me going cold calling, cold DMing people, seeing if they want to sponsor, they're going to connect those sponsorships, mate. Like, come on. Really smart that they tap into the AudioFi thing, which is new, but also in the, you know, kind of marketing advertisement kind of game. Really, really smart. Lurky's special. Yeah, I don't know. This gives me all the feels of a 10, 15, $20 million coin. And we'll see, but it gives me those kind of feels.
And again, what you're talking about. So first of all, they have an extraordinarily unique tech product because everybody can, you know, put AI writing on the timeline. Nobody has this, where they have all the audio data of what everyone's actually talking about, and they convert that to actual token information, the alpha reports now, all that. That's great. They've now got the soundboards, they got the bot, they've got tipping for host, all this stuff. But you know, so if you all don't know about Lurky is an amazing product, especially if you're hosting spaces. But the coolest part, like Hudah's talking about, is we just talked about revenue needed for token projects. Okay, the businesses that want spaces hosts can now just come here and they pay in Lurky. They have to buy the Lurky token to pay in token for if they want to run a campaign where everyone's talking about their project. Brilliant, but you got to pay in Lurky. You know, if they want to, you know, hire somebody, they pay in Lurky. So all this stuff, like their token actually has real utility that's going to be in demand. So that's why both Hudah and I are really bullish on Lurky.
Really bullish. You know what, too? They got a little secret weapon. Lurky has a group chat with some of the biggest Twitter Spaces hosts, like names everybody knows here. And it ranges too. It's nice. It's the small guys, and the small guys are the up and comers. They're the next big guys. So it's really awesome.
Like
and
us.
smart. Yeah, like us, like getting in with guys like us. And if we find success, then it's success also for Lurky. It's just how it'll work. But they've got some big names in this decently sized group chat. But again, it's very, very known names that are all chatting with Lurky and being supported by Lurky and now supporting Lurky themselves. So Lurky's going to play that mindshare game too. And they're going to win that mindshare game. And
here's the thing. It's multi-chain. They've got people from every chain talking about everything. This is not, they launched on virtuals because it gave them the great opportunity for even more runway. But I mean, they, talk to AVAX people. They talk to Abstract. They talk to, Soul projects, everybody. They're not pigeonholed at all. So it's really brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. Mufasa with his Syfy shill, which is like a good shill, I believe. First off, Mufasa's fucking awesome. So if he's got conviction in a thing like he's had for like weeks and weeks and weeks, I believe this man has found himself a gem. We should probably be paying attention to that. Also saying Lurky's going to be big. Expect big partnership announcements. I believe it, dude. I do. Let's speed race through a couple other just quick headlines in the virtuals ecosystem and then jump to some prediction market topics. I will say there's a couple new virtuals launches on the board too. So Hexar today, awesome. Is this like a MAGA themed one? WWG1 WGA. That's what the fuck was that thing? QAnon. That's a QAnon thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I don't even know. I haven't looked into that at all.
Yeah, that's new. I don't think it's actually a QAnon project, but they're using the name. It's QAnon, which I think will turn some people off.
Yeah.
Rescue, peer-to-peer donation platform. That's kind of cool and interesting. GRD agent, reinventing semiconductor design and verification through AI agent techniques. Okay. I think that's neat. I don't know what that means, but you do that word wizardry and you can win me over. ShopX is on Monday, finally. They may be on the show. They might not. We'll kind of keep you updated there. I don't see UA. I'm so dumb sometimes, dude. The UFO one, the UFO project that I've been chatting with, and Nick's been chatting. They're still launching. They had a little fuck up with the tokenomics. They're coming back.
Let's say that's your project, right? Aren't you on that? You're getting on that team, aren't you?
I may not, because I want to tell them, like, I don't know if at the time, like, I'll advise and you don't have to. I just like this shit. Yeah. But they had to delete it because they fucked up the tokenomics. So you didn't want to put a dupe entry, you just wanted to get it removed. But they're definitely launching. I'll say that. So that's what's coming up, and then expect this to start getting peppered with some of those hackathon winners. This board's going to light up soon, I think, with some really spicy projects, and the timing of it might be fucking perfect, going along with the market bouncing back, and that's the perfect storm, and I feel like that's coming. So we'll keep you guys posted on all of that. Creator bid's now open to anybody to bid on these agent token launches. I'm not going to pretend like I knew how it worked before. I never bid on a creator bid agent, but we had our first ever creator bid project on the show this week, which was awesome, with Karoom coming on the show. And that was 2 days ago, whatever. Awesome team. And I love the project. Excited to be partnered with them too from the SlamAI Swarm side. We'll see. I think we might be taking that a little further, but they're great. Creator bid is coming on really strong with like V3. I think they're at or about to launch. So, and Will's covering them now too with his weekly show. You should probably be paying attention to creator bid now, guys.
So one thing I learned, and this is just simple stuff, like, cause I haven't ever participated in creator bid either. But just listening to Will's space, I asked, what do you pay for your allocation in? Cause it's Launchpad and it's actually in base ETH. So their tokens are, paired with ETH, which makes sense to me. Right now, because all the virtuals projects are paired with virtual and they all get affected when virtual goes down. They all get affected when virtual goes up. But it's just interesting that those tokens are backed by ETH or paired with ETH.
That's pretty cool. Okay. I like that. Again, we'll rush through these. We've got Quant Fund, who's making a pitch to Alliance DAO, trying to get some funding here. I like these guys when I do their Friday weekly spaces, host it for them, but they're my dark horse contender for it's a token I think is actually going to do really well when they launch V2, which is coming in the next few weeks. They said last week on Spaces, they are reaching out to all these TradFi hedge funds to come and build their first ever crypto product, launch a vault through them. It's like a branded vault. They have multiple partners they're going to be launching. And last week I'm like, would we know any of the names, any of the funds that you're making deals with? And they're like, oh yes, the one we met with this morning. Yes, everybody would know. I'm like, well, shit. for announcements alone, right? I'm like, I have a feeling this is so under the radar. And this sits anywhere from like 200K, and it did pump last week up to like 500. But when they release V2 and they have a whole marketing campaign planned, and they've got some pretty big accounts advising them too, and then they announce partnerships, I'm like, just knowing how the space works, announcements will move the needle, and I think they're gonna have the products that move the needle too. I like this one, and I'm not just saying that because again I'm doing the thing with them. I'm like I would be betting on it, knowing about it here, thinking that token's got some room to run. So like to see those boys cook. Crypto Sage from Dr. Emma Sage, they made a deal outside of like the crypto world, right? They had somebody who signed up or used their services. They got some like counseling from their agent. And it's just interesting that some of these products will reach outside of our echo chamber and get real customers, and they're going to kind of bring them here. In a roundabout way, they bring them here. And I would say a percentage of those people will come and hang with us and play with us and degen with us. And just great seeing tools get out there in the real world. So love to see that. They got an airdrop coming, by the way. Stay tuned for details about that. And I believe Crypto Sage Senior is going to be on the show Monday, which would be cool. I'll announce that officially when we lock that in. But he's such a good dude. It'll be his like third, fourth time on. He's
an awesome dude.
Really good dude. Yeah. Mute Swap. Somebody in the chat mentioned them earlier. Pay attention to Mute Swap. Like that token's cooking, but it looks like that token, or I should say their tech, might power Virtual's trading. Maybe in a way like Axelrod does right now. Maybe, like, I don't know for sure, but like the privacy meta is coming on so strong right now. And Mute Swap is like a privacy swap platform and multi-chain. And I do think you're going to see a big integration with Virtuals coming up. Token Randa, I want to say it was like a 5 or 6 mil market cap, but FDV like 10, 15 mil. Keep your eyes on Mute Swap. I think those guys got to cook ahead of them too. What is this? A little marketing update from Ring Fence. They got more news coming too, I believe. So stay tuned about them. This was cool. This was a little splashy, cats. You saw, I'm sure. Animoca. What did they do? Bought a whole bunch of Arrow tokens, making a push here into the base ecosystem, which anybody who's paying attention to, is it's time to be paying attention to base, like getting exposure, start building out your voice in base, which feels fucking good, doesn't it, man? Because base is so different than it was 6-8 months ago. It was just us. But, there's Starcaster, but
what's wild is I still go back, and obviously, like, I'm a full on base maxi at this point, but man, just to think about the Web3 show a couple of years ago, right? Like GIF Dad was like he was like the base evangelist back then, and it just was early. Like he was just early, and I've still got his art project from base. Like, I mean, I've got NFTs on base from years ago at this point. Do what?
Is that the coffins he did?
I got coffins and the art one, the droppers or whatever. It's actually pretty decent art, but like, man, it's just wild to think how far we've come, because the culture shifted.
Yep.
Right? They brought on culture, and and Virtuals had a big thing to do with that, which has been around a year.
I think Virtuals has everything to do with it. I mean, again, I know Farcast or Warpcast, I can't even keep that straight, but I know that's there and it has a community, but I don't think anything brought like organic traders and organic community like Virtuals did. I don't think anything has done that. I think it's all on Virtuals right now. And it was nice to see Base or Jesse at least give Virtuals a shout out and like basically say that, like, we get how important you are. So
yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Sorry, I missed Gravity's question. What size is your average Butler trade right now? So actually, I've been taking profits, including some of the airdrop stuff, converting it to Virtuals, and then sending it to my Butler wallet. So I'm gonna give a little alpha for anybody who's wanting to do this. This is all just straight wash trading, by the way. That's all they care about. They told us to abuse it. So I'll send Virtuals to my Butler wallet. I'm now up to about $500. I started with 200. So like what I do is I convert the Virtuals to USDC, like in separate trades. I usually do like $100 to $150 trades at a time, mostly because I don't trust it still. I've lost funds multiple times, but just to get the transaction volume too. So I'll do $100 to $150 trade, like swap to USDC. I'll swap out all my Virtuals to USDC, and then I'll go through and do that again, swapping to different tokens. I usually do high volume tokens like Facey, Wire, Tibber, Predi. I'll do swaps into those, and then I take that and I send it. You can only send tokens via Butler X. Like if you're on the Butler website on virtuals, you won't send anything. All right. So, but if you want, so I'll send it to my wallet address via Butler X. All right. So I send those tokens out. I go back on the virtuals website or in my Phantom wallet, and I'll swap those tokens back to virtuals. I'll send the virtuals back to my Butler wallet and do it all over again.
Can I please have an agent just do that for me?
That'd be great. Somebody build that agent.
Yeah, please. By the way, Trey, throw elbows. Just jump in whenever you want, buddy.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so I don't want to like totally bring the conversation way back to square one, but for someone that is like completely new to the base ecosystem, completely new to virtuals, what besides virtuals, because it seems like that might be the most hot topic, what is the like major bull case on like why things have changed in the ecosystem? What can someone do kind of like getting into it to understand it a little bit better? Because at least in my corner of CT, I'm not seeing a lot of content around it. And so like I just want to learn.
It's kind of interesting hearing that. Right? Like because everybody's algo is tuned so differently now. Like I see nothing that Katz is seeing. I don't think he's seeing anything I'm seeing. It's kind of good. It's kind of whatever. I'll tell you what, dude, I'm with you that I don't see anything on base outside of virtuals. I'm trying to think if that's totally true. Like I see some of the prediction market stuff for sure, but that's kind of it. It's why I think virtuals is so important. But do you see anything base?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I bought Arrow a while back, and I'm trying to figure out Aerodrome, and honestly, I just can't get into it, which just sucks because Aerodrome is the biggest, volume really of any of the launch pads. But yeah, that's our thing though, is we kind of have an opportunity here, right? There aren't a ton of content creators yet on base, and Jesse pushes the base app. Well, it's not public yet, right? So, and honestly, there are people getting rewarded on base app for doing posts and all that. And I try to remember to post on there, but I can't, like Farcaster, I've just never gotten into. It's just one of those things. It's never taken off for me. Farcaster's integrated in base app. They're trying to push that. But, I would say virtuals provides the best, avenue for content right now because there is so much going on. There's so many virtuals related projects and virtuals back projects. That's where a lot of the content's going to come from. CreatorBid has a different ecosystem, like we were talking about a little bit ago. Aerodrome is a big launch pad, but those are really, base app is what's getting pushed from the base team. So I think, Zora, obviously, like, I don't know, Trey, do you know what Zora is?
I do know Zora. I am on that one, and I am on the base app as well. I just don't really know anything else besides that,
Yeah. So those are the big ones, the big areas right now. But that's the thing is like it's still so early. There's opportunity, right? And that's why we're really big on PredictBase. Is like, man, this brand new product that the prediction markets are going to be here. It just launched. It's got an awesome team. Now it's getting pumped by base. Especially after all the Limitless FUD. Like, Trey, do you know what Limitless is?
I've heard about it. I've not like done anything with it, but I do. Yeah.
So, it's for us. It's just it's a great opportunity at the right time in the market.
Big time.
GM base market virtual.
What's up, GM man? Oh, by the way, let me say this real quick. I want to make sure I get it in because PredictBase joining in 5 minutes. When they join, I'm probably gonna. I don't know if I should drop everyone down and then you can come back up when we open it up to everybody. Whatever, we'll just leave it as is, and I'll figure it out when they jump in. But just a heads up, 4 minutes they're coming on. So let's get to some of your guys' takes. Go ahead, dude. I didn't really mean to cut you off. I just want to make sure people knew our time was getting short.
Okay, bro. I am DeFi, bro. I'm a Web3 promoter, and I'm happy to be in the virtual market.
I'm glad you're here too. You got a take on any of this stuff, base, virtuals, whatever?
Yes, bro.
Very good.
I hardly had fan cards talking about base visual. It was so happy and deadly, and I really want to engage in.
And there's the take. Okay, I love it.
All right.
Good stuff. Picasso, what's up, man?
GM, everybody, man. I just wanted to thank everybody for joining the space. I know we don't have much time. Big up to X Factor, Trey, great question, and everybody, Cats, Hudah. Pick up the Prodral. I've been talking to him on the XR stuff. I've been covering it. I think it's a unique. I think it might be the dark horse of the week. That's my 2 cents. Good luck to everybody. And to answer Trey's questions, there are some other stuff on base like Kleinker, Banker, Kleiser. I mean, not to shill anything, but these are really good ecosystems that I play around with from time to time besides Virtuos. But Virtuos has the most volume on base. I was researching about that recently. And, you know, that base airdrop, it's a possibility it's going to go to a lot of Virtuos users. That's just my speculation, not financial advice.
Dude,
That's
hope
it.
so.
Keep it
So
short and straight
bad.
to the point, guys. You
That's
know?
beautiful, dude. It's like 2 birds, 1 stone. Go play
Absolutely.
on virtuals. You might be farming the base token too. Something people are saying. I think it was JP Morgan saying this is a $34-35 billion token in the making that's coming next year, it looks like. No reason to not go and get on virtuals where
Dude.
there's actually the wins are there now again, which is great. And maybe that nice stimmy next year.
Farm the Butler hard with all this volume. Get the airdrops and get the base token. I love it.
Yep.
Dude, my boy X Factor's up here. We got to get him too, real quick.
Real quick, X Factor, and then we got the founder of Hexar on too. So we'll do that real quick, and then we have the founder of PredictBase behind the scenes here. Good to see you, by the way. Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. Happy to jump in and make this space, talk some prediction markets. I'm very excited to hear what PredictBase is going on. And just really quick, a quick take on Base app. I started using it recently, and it's not quite fluid yet, in my opinion. They're just trying to mesh a bunch of apps together under one big platform. And once they get that going, I think there's going to be more adaptation for the platform. So it's kind of clunky to use a little bit, even though the UI looks pretty good, but they're just like a bunch of mini apps living in one big ecosystem, if that makes sense. But it's definitely worth farming. A bunch of the stuff you can do for free. So, you know, it's going to be a massive airdrop. Why not get yourself some exposure? That's my take on that. And yeah, very excited to speak prediction markets with you guys here in a second. I'll stick around for a little bit. Great to see you guys.
Good stuff, man.
Let's
Appreciate
go.
you coming up here. Good take too. And then, dude, I'll butcher your name, so I'll just say founder of Hexar. Welcome, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just want to give a shout out. Like Hexar is gonna be live in a minute on virtuals. So if you want to like participate in the economy of robotics and physical AI, like do look out for us. Like we are a dark horse, as we said. Like we haven't done that much marketing, but we are building for next 20 years. So looking forward to that. Thank you.
Love it, dude. Post launch too. I would love to get you back on, and we'll chat through how the launch went, and we'll
Thank
start
you.
talking roadmap stuff. But I'm really glad you came up here, dude, and good luck with the launch.
Thank you. Sure.
All right.
Marty, he's probably got a launch party going on, bud.
He called, well, on the show, was that yesterday, dude? I'm in that fucking crypto time warp, dude. I think it was yesterday, but yeah, he was in a coffee shop too, which, hey, you get in where you can get in, so respect the game. It's time, boys. It's time. I've been waiting. I'm not even joking, for months to get PredictBase on the show. Like, I remember DMing. I don't even know if I ever got a reply, but I remember DMing and being like, I think you guys are fucking great. Like, let's chat. And it's just everything works out when it's supposed to. And things worked out between us and PredictBase at this point, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, and continuing to cook with those boys. They're fucking awesome. The platform's awesome. Let's get Adrian. I'm sure I butchered the name too. I'm bad with names, but Adrian from PredictBase. Let's get you up here, man. Early for this dude. Real early, but good morning. I'm glad you made it, dude.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Hey, GM, my guy. What's
yeah.
up?
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a little early here, 6 a.m. We're West Coast, but I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I know we missed it last week. I mean, I think Mo was supposed to join, and I remember waking up because I was in San Francisco for a trip, and I woke up at like, I don't know, it was like 8 a.m. or something, and I got a text from him at 7 a.m. and all it said was, dude, I fucked up. And I was wondering what the fuck, and I was like, I know what he's talking about. He missed out on it. And we're like, oh shit, dude, we got to get up on this for next week because we just pushed out live odds. And yeah, let's get into it.
Well, you know what's cool, by the way, there's no fuck ups here because, like I always tell people, there's no like format to the show. It's like it's maybe too casual sometimes, but that's like what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like really real, and there's no fuck ups here at all. So, like I said before, everything happens when it's supposed to. So you're supposed to be here today. It just means Mo's got to come back here some other time. So there we go.
Yeah, for sure. We gotta get him here.
But dude, you've been, I mean, it's exceptionally busy the past, I was gonna say a few weeks, but it's beyond that. But you've been busy grinding away at this platform for months now. This week was a really, really big one for you. Like this was what the top requested feature, like new add-on to the site, which is live odds trading, and you fucking nailed it, dude. It works great. I've made some trades already. I'm working on getting people into it. But how does it feel to have it out there after so many people were asking for it?
Yeah, honestly, I think the request for live odds started around, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. It's been something that we've been working on day and night for our dev team, and getting it out there finally, it's been great. And at the same time, it was honestly incredibly nerve-wracking at the beginning. It's a new platform, new contract. There's a lot of testing going on in the background, but it's never real until it's pushed out there and it's being used by hundreds of people. And honestly, at first, it was, we really liked it the way it was going. There were some balance changes that we had to make, to make it a little bit more fair for some of the creators. We added something similar to contract ordering, where you see in Polymarket, where if you're buying and selling, you want to make sure that there are also buyers and sellers on the other side. But honestly, it's been great so far. We've got a lot of feedback from everyone. We've been in contact with the Virtuals team and the Base team, and they've been liking it a lot. We've been actually talking to Jesse about it. He's been having some of his own thoughts on this, and talking, DMing and messaging him and stuff like that. And he's been asking for some requests, which we added as well. Making the sports market a little different, making them a little bit more attractive to certain people who are just into sport markets. That's why we made them look a little different. Like if you look at certain games, like here, if you look at like Bills versus Chiefs, they look a little different. The odds are a little different, and the UI overall. And we wanted to make sure that it's a very smooth and usable UI for everyone. Anyone who has nothing to do with crypto, who knows nothing about prediction markets, can just hop on here, look at the UI, enjoy it, and with 2 simple clicks, be able to bet on anything that they like. And it's not just the sport markets, right? We allow users to create their own markets anytime. It's such a simple UI. You can just click on the create market at the top right, and the UI, the AI pretty much does most of it for you. So you put in there and you put some sort of prompt. You're like, I'm going to make market on what the weather will be tomorrow in New York. And the AI will do the rest of the work for you. And with a click of a button, you have the market out there and people can buy on it and you can take revenue on it, which is something that you don't see a lot across other surfaces. So with the new live odds, we've actually seen a huge amount of volume. I mean, the first day, it was $120,000 in volume alone, which is just like, it was crazy. We've never seen something like this before.
That was your biggest day of volume?
Sorry, what was that?
Was that your biggest day of volume?
It was the biggest day on volume, yeah, for our first day launch. And I remember because the timeline's a little different. So when we first launched it, we launched it at night, and overnight, I mean, we were up trying to stay up, till like 2, 3 a.m. And then we slept and we wake up and yeah, the charts are just through the roof. It was kind of crazy. And the second day we were like, okay, this is it. People are liking this. Let's make this a real thing. We pushed it out up there, asked Virtuals and Base team if they also enjoyed it, and they also really liked this, so they helped us out. And then the second day was also crazy. So it's been a good launch so far, and I think people have been enjoying it mostly.
Big time. That was cool that you're chatting with Jesse about it. Like, we've seen him make those trades on the platform too, and now that I think about it, it's a couple months ago I saw him betting on markets. Is he actively using it still right now? It's cool. Again, cool hearing he's engaged with you guys in DMs. Like, respect to that dude. They say basis for builders. When you get actually hear that they are actually talking to the builders and giving feedback and advice is incredible to hear. Well, yeah. What is that relationship like right now? Like, how involved is he? And has he launched a market on here, by the way? I'm trying to think if he's launched.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah. Very early on, I think the concept when he first came out, he created his own market. It's been crazy because it was kind of a thing where at first, when we were first building up, we were messaging him, and honestly, we weren't getting a lot of responses back. It was a platform was fairly early on. We're just a rookie team. And slowly, as the market grew and it became more mature, we saw a lot of volume, and he actually started responding again. And he created his first market early on, betted on a multiple, and I think we posted a couple of them. And but now it's been kind of crazy because when we message him, he immediately gets back to us, and he has good feedback. So he's been looking at the charts, he's been looking at the UI, and I think he's been using it. I mean, we don't keep track of exactly which bets and what he does. I mean, we try to keep it very anonymous for every user so they can use it comfortably and give us feedback. But the feedback that he would get back from him, he's definitely been looking at it, which is very surprising for us, and we're very proud of that.
For those that don't know, though, PredictBase supports Base ENS names. So Jesse usually doesn't hide himself. You'll see the jesse.base.eth domain when he places a bet, and then the community usually brags about it. So if you don't know that, if you've got a base.eth name, it'll show up on PredictBase.
Dude, can you search by username on the platform? Like, we got the leaderboard, right? So I know we can track like top traders and maybe market creators. Is there a way to search usernames?
No. So when we first made the platform, we wanted to be incredibly anonymous. That's something that we kind of brag about at the beginning, was with a simple just login of your wallet, you can go ahead and place a bet on anything, and there's no records over anything except on obviously the blockchain. But there's nothing you don't have to put your email, you don't have to put your phone number or name or anything like that. And we wanted it to make it simple like that. Now, for recent bets, if you can go all the way at the bottom of the UI, you see the recent bets of when people placed their bets and when people created the markets. So those are there, but we haven't created any UIs for like user search or seeing what people have betted on what. We kind of wanted to add a social aspect to it. We've been testing with the comment section to see if people like talking to each other. And ever since live odds has actually been a lot more, people have been talking a lot more, just because I think when the games are going on, people want to talk back and forth what they think the odds would be. Like the Lakers versus Timberwolf game a couple days ago, was it yesterday or the day before? I mean, the odds went back and forth. It was Timberwolves up, then Lakers up, then Timberwolves up, then Lakers. So on markets like that, I think people do like to talk about it and kind of chat. So if we do realize that people do want to follow other people and see who's placing bets on what, or even copy their bets, that's definitely something that we can add easily.
Do you get trash talk in those comments?
No, thank God. People, the community has been incredibly nice. On Discord and everything, it's been incredibly supportive. I think people are seeing it as kind of their platform. We kind of wanted it to be incredibly transparent. I think that transparency created an environment where everybody thinks of the app as their own, and people want to use it, and they give suggestions, and we honestly listen to almost every single suggestion that we can. I mean, there's a lot of suggestions coming in, so we want to get to all of them, and we do listen to 99.9% of them.
Yeah.
So I think that creates a kind of like a homey environment where everyone's like, okay, this is our platform, this is what we're building towards, and this is what we can use between ourselves, and we built this together. And that's what we are here. We're just the messenger here. I mean, we're just a bunch of programmers getting together and making sure the community gets exactly what they want. And I think it's going towards the right direction, because we're seeing the numbers go up, we're seeing the users increase, and the overall positivity has been good. I mean, foundational changes such as live odds do always create a bit of a controversy at the beginning, but eventually people will settle in and they'll enjoy it, and the numbers prove that.
You do have that, like, I like that you refer to it as like that, like kind of homey feel or whatever. You have it, you really do, without you even saying that. That's what I would like associate with you guys. Because I see it, like I see it in your Telegram. I like, right, your response, just me fucking DMing you, you respond to me. You know, it's like you don't treat me like just like random customer. You respond and you give thoughtful replies. But then I see you doing the same in your Discord to anybody who's firing off questions to you. You guys are always there and responding to it. And I'm like, this feels like a community within a community. It feels very like homey. It's really great. But then it also ties into like how the platform works and what separates you from the others. Okay, so. Like you guys already know this, but like I launched a market with the CyberKongs this week, right? I'm starting to host their official weekly show, and I wanted to get them to see this too, because I think you guys are very, very special and different. And so when I was like pitching, or at least explaining what I wanted to do, they're like, okay, it's a prediction market. Who are we going to go with? I'm like, we go with PredictBase. I'm like, guys, it's the only one you can go and create your own market. And when I said that, everybody kind of like, it went silent for a minute and everybody's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, no, you pick whatever topic you want, and it very much becomes your own community kind of market. It's so wild. It's interesting that nobody is doing that, and that just adds to that like really, really strong community bond thing that's going on here. And you're going to have this spread out, across communities, and they'll have their own markets that are just theirs for, their people. That maybe people on the outside can come bet still with like no reason they can't or won't. There's money to be made, they'll do it. But again, it's like very, very strong communal thing happening here. And I gotta give you your flowers for it. And when people hear it, like light bulb moment for them every single time. So
can I add on and give people an example? Because I know we've got some new listeners that aren't familiar with the platform. This is very different because you get a creator fee for creating a market. It's very cheap to create a market, right? And again, I want to talk about this some because we have new people, but it costs $1, like one USDC, to create a market, or half of that in Predi, in the token itself. But I created the Ravens and Dolphins NFL game last night. I created a market on that. I made $8.34 from that market. Now, again, this is early when people don't know about this. So, that's 800, a little over $800 in organic volume, right? On top of the added liquidity. So imagine now when we are out months and years from now, and there's, 800,000 in volume, millions in volume, and you're getting 1% of that as a creator fee. That's wild. Like, that is amazing opportunity. And that's why we love this prediction market, and we want you all to be early with us.
Does that fee structure remain? Like, that is just what the platform will always be doing, that 1% to the market creator?
Yeah. So the concept when we first came up with it, because me and Mo, honestly, we're kind of degenerate gamblers as well, and we really like to use similar platforms. So we started with Polymarket and kind of going with Polymarket. We've noticed that sometimes there's certain things that you want to bet on that you know a lot about, that maybe the platform itself isn't comfortable supporting, and it's not fair to most people that, hey, if there's a group of people out there who know about certain things, energy drink company differences, I don't know, food differences, any type of differences, and they want to be able to bet on that. And that is something that we wanted to give to the people. And the truth is, creating markets, it's been kind of a concept which has been very difficult to do. And it's kind of, when we got into it, we kind of realized why a lot of the other platforms don't do it. It's because getting other people to create the platforms, sharing the revenue with other people, it's not easy thing to do, and most people don't want to do it. And that is something that we strive on very much, that it's a new challenge that we brought up. It's a new problem that we're solving, but obviously there are challenges with it. And the 1% revenue thing, which we share, so the platform usually takes 2% transactions on every market, but that's shared between the creator and one between the platform itself. The 1% for the platform goes to pay off the backend, the UIs, and all of those. And then the 1% that goes to the market creator just goes straight into their pocket. There's no transaction fees. There's no extra fees taken on that. So we're splitting it dead even, 50-50 in the middle. And, as the platform kind of grew, we noticed that the users kind of split themselves up. A lot of people liked just creating markets, and a lot of people liked just betting on them. And we ended up in this two type of user type, where we have the buyers and the creators, where they kind of work hand in hand. Certain people aren't comfortable creating their own markets, which is very much fair, and that's totally okay. It's kind of a big thing, and you don't see it on a lot of other platforms, and it's not something that we've made it. It's not mainstream yet, like when, for example, Instagram first came, you could, I guess Instagram wasn't the first one, I guess TikTok or something, when you're allowed to make your own reels and make your own videos at first. A lot of people didn't do it at first, it was more of a, hey, why do I get to make my own? Isn't the news platform or like Netflix or all of those supposed to make it for you? But no, that's not the truth, right? You get to make your own content, and you get to make money on your own content. And markets here are the same thing. You get to make your own market, you get to advertise it the way you want it, and you get to make revenue on it. And the better job you do, the better advertising that you do, obviously the more money you make. So it kind of became a revenue stream for a lot of our users, where they'll be making 10 to 20 markets, and they'll be actually working very close with us. They'll be DMing us about certain markets and certain questions they had. Hey, they're like, hey, I'm going to be making markets on these. Is it okay? And we're like, yeah, of course. Or they'll have certain questions. They're like, hey, we're looking for liquidity on these. We want to be able to pump it up and advertise it. And we'd be helping them out. And we're growing. We're supporting our platform creators and buyers very much. It's kind of two different types of support. but we want to make sure we can support everyone at the same time.
Dude, it's I have a question. This is like a selfish question. It's not easy to create a market, like easy to actually create it, right? Like launch it on your platform. There's like an art or a skill you need to have to launch a market that like grabs people's attention. Like I've noticed that. Like I've put markets out there. I'm like, it's the coolest fucking idea. That's a clever market, and then nobody touches it because it's not, or it's like too clever, and it's just like right. Like where's the sweet spot there? Like what tips do you have for people like trying to create markets? What grabs people's attention the most?
Yeah, I think the cool thing about platforms like this, where it's very open-ended, it becomes very seasonal. So depending on the season which we're in, I mean, the easiest one to talk about is the sport markets. Sport markets, we just went through the NFL season. I mean, we're still going through it, but starting off with early on with the NFL seasons, we saw the huge amount of volume in NFL games. I mean, everybody was betting on those. And then now that we're kind of switching on to the NBA, there's been a lot of NBA games that are going on. So if you look at games for NFL and NBA, those are honestly the easiest ones to go to. But maybe that's not kind of what you want to do. Maybe you want to go for politics, or you want to go for everyday life, or the weather, for example. Those are some of the ones where you want to make it a little bit more interesting. You want to have questions that will kind of grab people's attention. And depending on the kind of volume that you get, it's very much like any other platform where you get to make your own content. Like any content creators, they kind of have to advertise that and make it a little bit interesting. And honestly, us growing with it, since the concept is so new, we're kind of learning as we're going too. But there are certain topics which certain people are more interested in than others. And the discussions happen in Discord, and that's one of our main community places where people talk. So if you guys aren't part of Discord, please join our Discord. And that's you can kind of see people go back and forth and talk about the markets which they want to bet on and the games which they want to talk about. And you can kind of get an idea of what people want there. And I've noticed that people kind of ask certain questions. They're like, hey, there's no markets on this. Would people be interested in something like this? And we'll be like, yes or no. And if people are interested in it, then they create the market. And we created a lot of ways for you to be able to share your market with other people. We made the sharing pretty simple. You can click a share anywhere in the app and kind of share with everybody else. And usually when we see people sharing their markets and trying to get a traction for their markets, we very much support that, because we're kind of growing together and we want to make sure everybody gets their good amount of volumes in their market. So I think it kind of becomes like a long-term game of, hey, you kind of figure out what people like, and as you go on, you make the markets which are special towards those type of people, and people kind of separate themselves. There are people that are only into sport markets, or there are people only into politics, or just the coin prices, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever. And you can kind of get an idea of who's into what. And as the seasons grow, like let's say the NFL games die, those people move on to the NBA, and then the NBA season also ends, and then they have to go into something. So they'll go into, for example, Bitcoin pricing or whatever. So it would be kind of a good idea to go check the communities, get a trend of what people are talking about, and make markets in those areas.
I'm itching for like I want to get my wife on the platform, and I do like, because to me it's a good barometer too. Is the platform easy enough? She doesn't trade crypto. Like actually she's more familiar than most people would be, right? Just because she hears me talking about this bullshit all day long. But like, I want to get her and have her like make a market around some show she watches or something she's interested in that her friends are too. And I want to try to see if she's interested enough to gamble on that and have some fun with her friends. I imagine that's not far off. It's something I got to work on with her, but I imagine that's kind of the next like ring out that's coming here. So I'll keep pushing that. I like the token price ones. To me, they're easy to understand, and I feel like I have an edge there. And man, I don't think you need an edge for something like the one I got on the screen too. Like I took that one this morning. To me, that just feels, for me, it feels kind of obvious, but I love this. I think you guys had even tweeted it out. Bitcoin, will it reach 140K by the end of the year? And I saw the odds for yes was what? It was like 28%. It might have been 29% at the time of that tweet. I'm like, come on. It's like, I'm a permabull. So to me, that just feels like free money. But what's cool is now I'm looking at it. And because of live odds, okay, if I did this market, if I bought this, a week ago, cool, I'd be riding this till December. Now I'm looking at it and I'm actually up on my bet from just this morning because the odds have changed, right? And so I can go and sell the shares that I bought this morning or sell my position. I don't have to see it through till the end of December. I can go sell right now and be up. And this is why people have been begging for live odds. It keeps you engaged longer or faster. It works both sides really, but it keeps you more engaged because you really can be up at any moment of the day. So it adds like a different kind of excitement to it too. And you talk about like people marketing their own markets. Dude, it's a godsend for content. It is for like somebody who does streaming. Like this gives me something I'm still trying to figure out what it looks like, but this gives me a way to bake in something fun and exciting that you can gamble on during a show. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to crack that nut of what's the perfect way to do a prediction market, not just trading challenge, but a way to like integrate it into a show. But this is going to be so important for content going forward, having prediction markets. And the fact that you can launch your own here is, to me, game changing for prediction markets. So I'm having a blast with it right now, man.
Yeah, it's interesting you kind of bring some of those ideas up. Starting off with, I kind of see the concept of, making your own, like, let's say, as you mentioned, like you started your own live stream and you want to have some sort of a bet on it that's related just towards you. Or your wife wants to create a market that's just about them, they bet it on something, whether they like a certain food or a certain type of clothes or whatever. And they want to bet on that, but it's kind of a smaller community. And it was funny because I was just going to a friend's birthday, and they're big into soccer. They're fanatics of it, but they also play their own games. Like they play FIFA, and they hopped in. It was like 12 of us. They're like, why don't we make a tournament of who wins? And they're like, hey, Audrey, you got a platform where you get to bet on people. So let's bet between ourselves on who we want to bet on. And it kind of triggers an idea in my mind that, hey, maybe some people don't want betting just to be public to everyone. Maybe they want certain bets to be just private towards them. As you mentioned, you want people in your live stream to be able to bet on something about your live stream just right there for that hour and not afterwards. And you don't want other people to have access to it. Or there's a small group of friends who want to bet on a certain thing. And that is something that we never thought at first that could be useful, but now that I'm looking into it, I'm thinking that that's kind of a cool thing to do. Maybe it doesn't make a lot of revenue just because it's been between 5 of your friends, but it's something that allows you to more easily bet on something. Betting between friends has always been a thing, right? Hey, what are the chances I'll be able to jump off that building and not break my leg? And it's like, you want to bet on it? And it's something you would want to bet on. And it's, I think with this platform, creating bets, making it so simple and so easy, it's something that maybe we can be adding. And it's been actually something that we've been working on to allow people to just make their own, make it a private market, allow a certain amount of users only, and have them just bet on it and then simply just resolve it themselves. No communication with outside world, don't have to ask us to resolve it, and they'll just do their own thing. And it creates a lot of private markets, and maybe it doesn't make a lot of money for them, but it kind of gets them closer to their friends. It makes it easier for them to bet between themselves.
Yeah.
And kind of creates a certain
I love that. Dude, every golf course in America will have this.
Yeah, dude, interesting. Yeah, but it's funny because it's like the fun part of it can be making money. Like that's definitely part of it. But like we have fun just clicking buttons together, right? Because we lose money together and we have fun doing it. So it's like the fun part is us just doing the thing together. So yes, making private markets for just the small circle of friends or for a specific show makes perfect sense. If there's a way down the road, to have it where I don't even know what it would look like, where it's baked into the show. There's a button or something that you can do right there. You don't have to even go to a platform. And in a way, you have it with your agent, with the Predi agent. It's closer to that idea, right? Where you can, and I still have never done it, but you can launch a market through your agent. You can bet on a market with your agent. And so that's really close in that direction. And I think it makes it easier for people too, right? So like back to with the Kongs and, when I wanted to get this in front of their community, go on the platform, bridge some money to base. I imagine you still have to do that to a degree when you like connect to the agent or work with the agent, right? Do you
Yeah,
you got to create a wallet with them. Yeah. Okay. But again, it's getting it closer to abstracting away like the whole kind of platform side and just get right to the bet, just get right to the clicking and then laughing with your buddies about whatever the topic is. Right. So
Yeah,
And honestly, Base App makes that easier for onboarding, like you're talking about. I mean, as Base App becomes more mainstream and people can take money from Coinbase directly in there, it's super easy to put money into Base App wallet. And now that it's a featured app, like that has so much potential. Also, you mentioned PredictBot. I don't know if, again, we have some new people listening. You want to talk about PredictBot for a sec? Also, we need to talk about resolution because you all have pretty unique resolution of markets that I get a lot of questions about too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so PredictBot is kind of our AI agent that allows you to do anything on the platform that you'll be able to do through the UI. So create a market, place a bet, and now we're adding selling your bets on it. And it was funny because we launched it through the Virtuals platform, and in the first 2 months, we were getting so much users that actually broke a couple times, like it wouldn't respond properly, and we were getting so many questions of, "Hey, why is this not working?" And it's just, dude, there are too many people using it, so we had to hefting up the back end and make it a little strong. And right now we have live odds out, so it's been a working kind of progress because we wanted to get live odds out as quickly as possible. So PredictBot is kind of something that we're building on top of that. And the cool thing is, with the new ACP versions coming out, we're actually working very closely with the virtual teams for that ACP. So we want to be able to get on that very quickly and to be able to allow people to create bets and through the ACP. So we're actually talking with them. We actually had a meeting with them yesterday on that. So from in the future, you won't even need to actually go onto the PredictBot. You would tag the PredictBot itself. You could just go through the butler, and then you'll have everything there, and it'll be very simple to do. Of, hey, PredictBot, create me a market on what will be the price of the virtuals token tomorrow, and it's just as quick as that. It does create a wallet for you, and you would have to send kind of funds in there, and then you can pull out the funds from the wallet there. It's kind of just a mainstream service of technique of doing it, but it's very simple to do. And we've seen a lot of users just use PredictBot and don't want to use the UI. I'm more myself. I kind of want to see the UI and I want to see the buttons and I want to see the colors. Yeah, but I do see the attraction with just having to go through on X and just creating a market there as easy as that.
Yeah. Also, for those that we have some new people to base and virtuals and maybe don't understand ACP, but we've seen AIXBT, we've seen Grok create markets by interacting with PredictBot. So this is not just humans. This is where AI agents can actually interact in prediction markets, which is a whole nother stream that isn't possible with the other ones that it's possible with PredictBase.
Funny because that came about, like we had a conversation about that. Probably Cat's our first stream together a couple months back, and I'm like, dude, that's coming, and I can't wait for that day when agents are creating their own markets and convincing other agents to take one side or the other, or getting their research from an agent too. And then Adrian had messaged me, or maybe it was Mo, but we were chatting in Telegram. He's like, that's exactly what we had in mind. That's kind of part of what we had been building all along. I'm like, holy shit, like it all makes sense when everybody sees the same thing. It's the right idea. And so that ACP integration makes that reality, right? Like that's the moment that it actually happens. So when PredictBot is live in ACP, is that like a function that's live right away, or is it just users making bets through the Butler agent?
What feature you talk about? The feature to be able to have AIs talk between each other?
Yeah, the agent to agent.
Yeah,
agent to agent. Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. Yeah, when we kind of going back, kind of a step back, when we first making the AI agents, it was kind of something of, hey, who would be using this AI agent a lot? Because for us, it was kind of dude, UI is the way to go. And the more we think about it, we see actually people using it. And a couple times we noticed people, using Grok and some of the other AIs to kind of get an idea of, hey, is PredictBase a good platform? Or, hey, should I really be using PredictBase? And the idea kind of clicked because we saw that the responses from Grok was pretty positive, and we're like, why don't we have these guys actually make the markets? So we were playing around with it a little bit. And if you go back, the history is there, and we were trying to get it to kind of do it. And I think as the platform kind of grew, I think the AIs kind of became a little smarter, and they were actually able to do it. Like we would notice people would be like, hey, what do you think about this market on PredictBase? I'll be like, yeah, it's easy money, 1% revenue. Why wouldn't you want to do it? And then they'll be like, why don't you do it? And they'll be like, yeah, we'll do it. And you would see the AI is kind of talking back and forth, and the PredictBot making the platform or the AI a market for the AI. And it was kind of really cool to see, and kind of a little bit maybe scary, they talking between themselves and making markets for people, and people would be betting on those markets, which was just crazy to see. But the hype was kind of there, and people were excited about it. And with the integration with ACP, it would be exactly as you mentioned. ACP kind of allows people to more easily to be able to use some of these AI agents, through a community of kind of a cluster of AIs into one. So, and one of the users could be talking with a certain AI, and they'll be like, hey, for example, I don't know, there's an AI on something else, let's say on pricing, and they notice something exciting about a price of a certain coin, and they're like, hey, would I be able to bet on this, or would I be able to create a market on this? And maybe the AI itself wouldn't be able to do, but because now it's clustered to our AI agent, PredictBot, it would just have a certain straight communication. So it won't be exactly of, hey, PredictBase, create this for me. It would be more of a backend kind of thing where it would go in the backend, send us a request of, hey, there's a user that wants to do this. And we'll kind of take over from there. And we'll be like, hey, we're here. PredictBot will allow you to do this. Do you want to move forward? And I'll be like, yeah, why not? So it kind of, the cool aspect of, hey, the AI is talking together in the front end and we get to see it kind of goes away. But the same kind of communication, I guess, more detailed and more vividly is going on in the background where they are going back and forth and they're sending requests to one another. And at some point it would be like, hey, okay, PredictBot is going to take over the conversation from now on, and we're going to have PredictBot talk to the user to allow them to have a smooth market creation or a buying experience.
Really cool, man. I can't wait to see like unhinged agents, because every so often they get a little unhinged. I can't wait to see what kind of markets get, you know, thought up and created at those points. Adrian, I don't know how long we have you here for. I have some more questions. So do we have you for a few more minutes at least?
Yeah, I'm available. It's 6 a.m. There's nothing else going on here.
There you go. Okay. All right. Appreciate that. Quick one from Gravity. That's an interesting question, because that goes back to, like I was saying, there's like a science to launching a market. Like part of it is where you're putting the liquidity, what side of the bet, you know, along with the wording. But yeah, let's see. Gravity made a market, added too little liquidity, preventing betting. How can he improve the liquidity at this point?
Yeah, so that is actually a very good question. I mean, it's kind of taking a step back of allowing people to create their own markets. I mean, it obviously always requires a certain level of liquidity when it comes to live odds, because, you know, you want to buy and sell, but you have to, originally when you're buying and sell, you have to buy and sell against someone, and it has to be the platform at first until there are enough volumes where you can buy and sell against other users. And it is not something that anybody else, other markets, have to deal with, because they get to create their own markets and they get to immediately put liquidity in there. And it was kind of a challenge that we're still in a discussion for. It's something that we want to be able to do fairly for everyone. Everyone gets to create their own markets, but certain markets obviously create more traction and they have more volume than others. And you obviously want to be able to support those and add liquidity more towards those. Support not in terms of like advertise and make sure everybody builds it, more of, hey, maybe there'll be like $100,000 volume in here, so let's add enough liquidity to be able to support that amount of volume, versus some of the other markets where maybe it's a little bit more niche and there'll be less users. And the thing about liquidity is setting the correct amount of liquidity also changes how much the price goes up and goes down depending on how much people want to buy and sell. So also we want to make that interesting, where if you bought at a certain share, you know, let's say you bought at 50 cents a share, you want to make sure that when other people buy on top of you, the price of it goes up so you can sell early. Because if there's $10,000, $100,000 in volume, in liquidity, but there's only $1,000 in volume, then the price won't really go up that much. And you, as an early buyer, you kind of feel left out of, hey, I bought early so that people would buy on top of me because I was sure, as I predicted earlier on, but the price didn't go as much. So for now, we are allowing everyone to kind of build their own markets, set whatever liquidity. We set the minimum to $10 just so, you know, it gets out there. And we personally are supporting the liquidity. So if you created markets with $10 liquidity and you feel like nobody can bet on it because there's too little, the price fluctuates too much, or there's not enough orders going back and forth, shoot us a DM. We do have easy tickets, so you can create a ticket, and we have a lot of bots and actually also people going through them and adding liquidity to all of them. So me personally, I'm doing that every day. So if you create a market, you feel like you need more liquidity for it, just shoot us a ticket, or shoot us a DM on any platform, and we'll add liquidity to them. So that's currently what we have as a solution. We're making it automated, so we're, you know, being very early on. We don't have the data currently yet, but we're collecting data on which markets require a certain amount of liquidity, so we can auto pool liquidity from our bank into that market. So that's going to be happening in very much in the near future. But for now, just send us a DM and we'll have you covered.
Hudah, I think this is important for people to understand, especially if you haven't played around with prediction markets. Can you go back and put the PredictBase on the screen? For those of everybody that's actually watching, go to the will ETH hit 5,000 by the end of November, right there at the top. So if you look at the platform, so you see PredictBase actually created this one. You see the volume is over 11,000, but underneath in the resolution details, you see how much liquidity they added to try to help balance that. Now, if you go on, go to actually make a bet, just you don't have to actually make it, but just put $10 in there, for instance, like in the bet screen. So now, not 4 cents.
It won't let me because I spent
Oh.
all the Bitcoin bet this morning.
All good. So, but look at so even at 4 cents, right? It'll tell you your average cost. Okay. So as that goes up, that average cost is going to go up. It's important for people to look at that. If there's no liquidity, if you're at 50 cents right now and you go and try to put $100 in, that average cost is going to be like 90 cents or whatever. So like, look at the average cost that it shows you right there when you're going to place the bet. Look at the liquidity. Like those are all factors you should look at right now when you're betting on a market. Those are all great points that he just brought up, and that's what they're talking about, getting the data to balance this all. We're still early, but also there's some really good ARB opportunities that you can take advantage of because of that if you know what you're doing.
Well, what if we don't know what we're doing? Who's going to tell us those opportunities?
Hit me up my DMs.
There we go. Oh, I love it. No, Katz always teases that he's got, and he does. Like Katz gets in these platforms and he breaks them. He figures out like where the edge is, and he does this all the time. Hoods, you made it. I bet on this one, by the way. The Roadrunner versus Tom and Jerry market long ago. Is it allowed to mass make markets? I'm not sure I follow that, but that might be a me thing.
First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, etc. Is this more of a maybe create multiple markets on the same game? Is that what we're talking about maybe here?
That might be.
So kind of that's actually been something that a lot of people have asked about. They're like, hey, there's a game of, I don't remember. Let's just go back to the Timberwolves versus Lakers game of, hey, there's a market on this already, and I noticed a second one, or I created a second one not knowing the first one existed. Do you want to cancel mine? And the thing is, yes, we can cancel your market and all of that, but why should we? The whole point of prediction markets is that you assume that a certain team is going to win. Like, let's say you think Lakers is going to win, and you want to bet on it, but you want to get the best odds out of all of those. And back when I was betting, I would be very certain on a certain thing. I'd do a lot of on price predictions for coins. That's just kind of something that I was really into. And I would be like, hey, I know, for example, Ethereum's going to hit 3K at some point this year, and I want to bet on it. And I would go on the platforms, and I would notice a lot of other people would have that same idea, and it would be like 90 cents average, and that doesn't make me a lot of money. And I would try to kind of track it down between platforms to see which one's the best odds, and a lot of them would be the same. And that's kind of something that we're trying to tackle. It's been kind of hard because, again, the part of advertising it becomes kind of difficult. Yes, and then the stats on the players, even the colors and issues. Okay, so that's actually something interesting, which we'll be adding. I'll be talking about. But yeah, so let's say we create a market and you want to be able to have the odds to be different. And that's kind of what we're trying to tackle here of, hey, let's say the first market exists and the odds on the Lakers is like 90 cents. You're not making a lot of money. You buy it on 90 cents, you have to sell it on 100. You're making you're making a little bit over like 11%. But let's say there's a second market right down at the bottom or right around that area of, hey, it's 80 cents or it's 85 or whatever, and you'll make more money on that. So why not put your money on the market that you'll make more on? And that's kind of something that we want to beat is, hey, the same game can exist and it could be 5 markets on that, but all of those could have different odds, and you would definitely go with the one that has the best odds. And that's why we don't want to kind of limit it and filter out to certain people, because that doesn't feel transparent to us, and that's not a public thing. If other people want to make markets on this, just kind of how like content works. If someone comes up with an idea for a content, they shouldn't be the only one who can own it. If other people can do it better and they can do it differently and they can do it a little bit more exciting here and there, they should be able to do it. And we don't want to limit that. We don't want to limit markets to certain people. Where it was funny because a lot of people were like, hey, let's allow people to create a market, come up with an idea for the game, and throw it up there, kind of like how it would work at any sort of auction where people would have the highest liquidity would win that market. And I don't think that's fair towards people who can't support the liquidity. You know, if you have someone who has $10,000 who can put into the liquidity versus someone who has $10, they shouldn't win necessarily over the other person. It's not a platform of the rich becomes richer. It becomes kind of a platform of, hey, we support everyone and we want to allow everyone to be able to do it. And whoever has the better idea, whoever can do it earlier on, I mean, it's predictions after all. Well, you want to be able to predict what's happening in the future. And the more that you can predict in the future, the more you should be able to be rewarded.
Yeah.
And kind of going to the second part of that question of, hey, the colors on all those. Yeah, I mean, you can make markets on anything. We're planning on adding features kind of like how it would work on some of the other prediction markets of having the spread scores or having, the color of the shoes of, or, hey, will someone jump and we have a market of, will someone, throw a pink dildo in the middle of the game. And it was a market. And I think there could have some volumes on. I bet it on it myself. I'm not going to lie. But so you can make markets on anything and you're more than welcome to do it. And we'll be adding features of attaching some of these markets together. So let's say you're talking about a spread in a game, or you're talking about a certain colored jersey or certain, I don't know, 3-pointers, certain players making 3-pointers. We'll be attaching those markets kind of together to the main game market. So people could just see it, go down below, it says we see related markets and kind of, hey, I already betted on Lakers, and I know, I don't know, a certain player will make a certain amount of 3-pointers. Also want to be able to bet on that. Or I know the spread of the score would be above this, so I want to also bet on that as well. So we'll be adding those as well in the future. But for right now, you can just go ahead and create the market on anything, and you're more than welcome. And we'll be supporting the liquidity for you if you can't do it yourself.
What about, are we going to be adding mention markets? It's a hot topic, especially after Brian Armstrong yesterday.
Did he kill? Did he just kill mention markets? By the way, like potentially.
Maybe see what happened.
I'm gonna put it on the screen here. Yeah, Audrin, did you see what happened here with Brian Armstrong?
No, I didn't get the chance. What's happening?
Okay, so
in his earnings call, he literally at the end of the call said, sorry, I was distracted by the prediction market on or the mention market on my earnings call. So he literally hit every strike. He went down the list and hit every one of them, so that every mention was yes.
That's funny. I like that. Yeah. We'll be actually adding mention markets, and we're actually kind of getting into hourly markets too. I mean, we gave some of those a try. We created 1 or 2 here and there, and we got a good amount of volume in those. I think it's something that people are interested in. We want to be able to cover kind of all types of markets, as you mentioned, mention markets, hourly markets. In the future, we'll be hopefully even adding some parlays or leverages as well for people to be able to really get into that whole thing. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll be adding some of those as well. I mean, the platform is just growing and we'll be getting so much volume. And as the users increase, the more we're encouraged to do things like this. So go give it a shot. Go check out the platforms, and whatever that you think you want to add to the platform, just add it to the suggestion. And we go through those pretty quick.
Well, okay. Well, to that point, then, if live odds was the most requested feature, what's the second most? Like, what are you looking to tackle next? It sounded like you probably already mentioned those things, but yeah, curious, what's the very next thing coming?
Yeah, so we're working on a couple. So there's a couple of obviously smaller changes to make the platform more smooth, and those are kind of boring. We don't want to talk about those. We want to talk about the bigger changes, and some of the bigger ones coming in is we want to be able to add hourly markets. So that's an extra feature which we're adding. I mean, we added polls and they were attractive for a while, but I think it becomes a little unfair towards certain people. We haven't checked that out a lot with live odds yet, so we want to kind of see how polls will play in live odds. But hourly markets is the next big thing. I mean, we created one, and in that 1 hour, I think we got 10 to 15K in volume. It was kind of insane. I mean, we're not even an hourly market platform, and we got those kind of numbers. So it's kind of cool to see. So that's the kind of the next feature coming up, and we want to be able to add leverage betting. That is something that I think a lot of platforms tried it first and they kind of backed out of it, maybe because there's certain cranks and kinks which we have to kind of work out and figure out and smoothen out. But I mean, that's not something that we're afraid of. I mean, we added creation markets, which is just something that nobody really wants to go for. So stay tuned for those two. So those two are going to be the big next two. And hey, if there's suggestions out there which are more popular, we'll stop those and we'll start the next one. I mean, it's a very transparent platform. We'll work on whatever people want to work on.
Spicy.
Nice. We need to. Sorry, I do want you to talk about the resolution though. You all have a hybrid model that is a little different that people should know about.
Yeah. So the resolution. So how it used to originally work, we would allow people to create the market. It would go into a pending, and the pending process would be that we have an AI kind of checking to make sure that the market is good, and it's not maybe inappropriate, or maybe it's not too specific to a certain person, which I guess we'll be fixing in the future. But once you go through that AI process, the AI approves it and you'll be good. And at first it was very slow. It would take up to 24 hours. Now it's almost instant. And it creates those, and you can create a market, and your market is out there. And once it becomes to the resolution date, when it has to resolve, we also have AIs solving those. So any type of market that's out there, the AI will look at it, go through the internet, find the score, or find whatever number or volume or price that it's supposed to hit, and it'll resolve it for you. I mean, the entire process is very mainstreamed, and I don't know if this is something that just came out of nowhere, but we're a very small team and we don't have enough time to do this. So the only thing which we're good at was development. And currently with the world of AI, we thought, why not use AI to do this for us? I mean, they're almost, we don't pay them and they're free workers. So why not use them? So that's kind of from end to end, all the way from market creation to market resolution is all controlled by AI. And in the future, we'll be adding AI for figuring and considering liquidity, as I mentioned. As we get more volume, I think that's something that's not out there on the internet. It's not as simple as a score for a simple game. It's kind of a data which we have to build on top of that and model that and figure out from there. So that's something that we'll be working on in the future and adding. So it would kind of fix the earlier question of, hey, if there's only $10 liquidity, there's not a lot of people betting on it, and I have to ask the team. In the future, you won't even have to ask the team. I mean, the AI will do it yourself. Will do it itself.
Nice. I learned something, I think, just in the past week from Cats. People can buy basically a position or a share, and they can gift it. Is that live right now? I'm thinking I heard that right, correct?
Yeah. So yeah, we did add that at the last minute, actually, right before we published the contract. I don't know how you know that, Katz. I don't know if did you talk to Mo, or how'd you figure that out?
Mo put it out on the timeline. It wasn't a secret.
Okay, good thing. Okay. Yeah, that is actually something which we're planning on adding. Yeah. So it's not currently exactly live yet, but it is supported by the platform. We have to add the UI work for it to smooth it out. It's a work in progress. But yeah, we want to be able to allow people to gift bets to other people. It's kind of something that you see on a lot of platforms, like gifting, in different types of ways. But gifting bets has been something that it's kind of fascinates me. It's not something that's usual. It's not a normal thing yet. You want to gift a bet. What does that even really mean or entail in today's world? And it's not exactly like you're gifting money. It's not like a gift card of any sort. It's kind of your idea of a prediction of something, and you want to gift that to someone else. But yeah, that is something that's coming. Stay tuned for that as well.
It's wicked clever. Like
Yeah.
I've gifted NFTs before, like even to my kids who don't do this stuff, right? But I've given it to them because I think it's like a cool memento, and it gets you, like, I was hoping it would like get them more interested in something, right? And this is a great way to get people interested in the prediction market if they're like just not ready to touch it yet. Maybe it's too overwhelming. It's like, you don't do anything. I got, like, this is just for you. And maybe you just win, and that's how you learn about it for the first time. But it's super clever. I can't wait to see that, man. That's great.
The alpha gift people a winning bet, so they actually win money, and it brings back to then spend the money, right? Because they're not gonna. Here's the thing: they're not gonna take it off the platform.
Yeah, I know.
They're gonna be like, oh, I got this money in this wallet now. What do I do with it? Well, that was fun. Let's try this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I think we did something similar where it was a couple of friends of mine who were interested in certain games, and when at first the market was coming and the platform was coming out, they had questions. They're like, how does this work? How does that work? I was like, why don't you just use it? And they're like, I'm not really into crypto. I was like, no worries. I'll just give you like $15 USDC. And I give him $15 USDC, and the guy started using the platform. And I talked to him a week later, and I was like, how's it going? I just assumed he would lose it all. He's not much of a bettor. And I was like, dude, it turned into $60. And I was like, damn, dude, you just made $60 out of $15. I wish I betted on whatever you betted on. So that kind of the idea built from there of, hey, yeah, exactly as you mentioned, there are people out there who maybe they're not into crypto or are not into betting, but they want to give it a shot. And it's the whole finesse of, hey, putting your money into a wallet and making sure the wallet is safe and all of that. it's a challenging process, and a lot of people still don't trust crypto as much. So why not just gift the bet over whatever they want to bet it on? You know, you bet it on your platform, and you just on your wallet, and you just send it over to that user. And if they win, now they're kind of hooked and they want to see more. And as Cass mentioned, the money that's already in the platform, they're probably going to reuse it. And that's what I noticed from a lot of my friends. They just kept reusing the money, and they'll update me on it. They're like, dude, I just bet it on this and I lost $10. Can you give it back to me? I'm like, no, I can't give it back to you. You just lost the money.
That's definitely not how it works. No refunds.
No refunds here. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, how the idea came from. But yeah, it's I want to see how people use it. I'm actually very interested to see how it could be used.
I think it's a brilliant onboarding move, and it's something, just another unique thing. It's awesome.
Big time. Couple more questions, I think pretty easy ones. One, on the new version of the platform, do we have polls anymore?
Yeah, polls will come back. With live odds, it just works a little differently. So we don't want to make sure that because with polls, you know, you kind of put the money in, and on whatever side that you put it on, and that side wins. That's kind of how polls work. So let's say we had a couple of ones. I think my favorite one was the pineapple on pizza. I don't know where you guys stand there. I hate pineapple on pizza. If you guys do like pineapple pizza, I'm gonna have to leave, unfortunately. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so on some of those, it works a little different. So if, you know, for polls, if you put the money on one side, and that side would win. So with live odds, obviously the buying and the selling, it makes it a little challenging for those, because they could wait till the last minute and then they could just sell theirs. And we don't want to have people lose the money on that. So it works a little differently now, polls, and we're working on it to make sure that it's very fair towards everyone. But yeah, polls are definitely coming back as well.
Okay. All right, dude, about pineapple. Okay, because it's funny enough, we saw the poll on the site about that, so we talked about it during, I think, maybe my weekend. No, maybe it was on this stream. I used to be with you, by the way. Fucking hate pineapple on pizza. Disgusting. My wife's vegetarian, and that was like her thing. So like now, over years and years and years, something clicked, dude. I get it. I freaking love pineapple pizza. But like, okay, the weird thing is with that poll on there, I asked the chat here, and I expect to get murdered over it, right? Because nobody likes pineapple. Everybody, I think every single person replied back that they like pineapple pizza.
Oh my God.
Something happened out there, dude. I don't know what happened, because nobody liked it before. Now all of a sudden, like, everybody's into pineapple pizza. It's weird.
I used to have so many supporters in this. I mean, it was so nice. You know, I talked to everyone just like you. Everybody, yeah, what the hell does pineapple do on pizza? And now I go around and I bring it up, and then, you know, you get that second of silence, and you just know no one's on your side, and it breaks my heart every time.
Never have to feel like that, dude. What is it? What's that? Okay, not Streisand effect. What's that thing, like the Berenstain Bears, and like happened because it used to be the opposite. Everybody hated pineapple pizza.
And I don't know, maybe the recipes are getting better. Honestly, I haven't tried pineapple pizza in over a year. Maybe I'll give it a shot again. Maybe the recipes are getting better. So
I think it matters if the pineapple's like sweet. It's got to be like the right sauce too with it. Like it's got, like, you get that contrast there. And it's
the secret to pineapples is you got to make it sweet and salty, so it's palpable, right? If it's just too sweet, it's disgusting. It's got to be like a savory type of thing. But definitely pineapple on pizza is solid. I can't confirm.
Is that
where do you recommend the best pineapple on pizza?
It's sweet, dude. Man, so. Locally, there's a couple of great places that I like, just like couple of local restaurants, but like a big chain, honestly, Papa John's is really good.
Papa John's. All right. Guess I'm having that for dinner tonight. And I'll give it a shot. I'll update you guys on it. If it works out, the polls are coming out, and we're doing this. No, guys, okay. If there's that many pineapple supporters, then I gotta give it a shot. I haven't tried it in over a year, okay? Don't quote me on it. Maybe it's gotten better.
Well, I've taken it to the next level now. It's pineapple and jalapeno. That's
okay. That I could get
pineapple and bacon.
Yeah,
would be a solid move. Something you get a little meaty in there with or pineapple and ham. I mean, like a classic Hawaiian or something like that. Pineapple by itself might be a little sus, but if you add a little savory to it, I think you'll like it.
so now here's the market. It's do we win Adrian over to the pineapple pizza side, right? And so like this is how it works, and they can be silly bets or they can be really serious bets, but you get to bet on anything and everything now. And I'm telling you, you couldn't do that market anywhere else. You can do that on PredictBase. You can't do that anywhere, and that's where you see how powerful it can be in a community. And then picture if you got like a BitBoy stream or a Thread Guy stream, and they're launching a market live about a thing they're just joking about, and you see how kind of silly and fun that can get in an instant. So there's magic there.
And that's what I was gonna say too, man. I think there's a huge opportunity for prediction markets to bring on board creators that go live and do dope stuff like this. That's how you onboard people. It's like, dude, these guys are betting on pineapple pizza. Like, this is awesome. I'll throw $10 at it. I'll throw $20 at it. And that's how mass adoption could possibly happen. I think there's still a huge untapped market for prediction markets to do something like Pump Fun and just get a bunch of people on there just slapping prediction markets around.
It's a good point.
Yeah,
Feels like as big as they are. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say it's funny that you bring that up because a lot of the platforms are very serious, on what they want to bet, what Trump's gonna say next, what war is gonna happen next. But yeah, something silly is like pineapple on pizza or anything else. I mean, what celebrity is gonna say what? Yeah, I'm gonna try that for sure today. But anything as simple as that, it creates a more of a mellow environment, and kind of maybe people are more comfortable betting on small things like that versus bigger, more impactful like political things, which kind of creates tension, which people maybe creates a hostile environment or kind of a stressful environment. But something that's pineapple on pizza, I think it's something that everybody could get on. And I don't agree with some of you guys, but we're still talking, we're still having a good time.
I would like to. So since we've got
the community,
I was gonna say, since we got X Factor and Trey up here, so those these are not guys, these are my buddies, but they don't know PredictBase yet, but they're in a prediction market. So I would like your take on what you've heard so far, because it's really unique and I think it's awesome. But I'd like to hear what you guys think of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, so super interesting. I just jumped on the PredictBase platform and I'm checking it out. I'm gonna mess around with it tonight. So it looks slick. I like it. I'm huge on base as well. So definitely something I'm gonna be checking out. The biggest concern right now for prediction markets is liquidity. So I saw you guys kind of address it a little bit, and then I see that you have like a liquidity pool that's kind of being shared around. But one of the biggest issues when you have a market, even smaller, let's call it like Myriad or something like that, they'll create a platform and the liquidity is just not there. So any let's call it big bet, but like any honestly like $300, $400, $500 bet swings the market significantly. So that's the biggest thing that needs to be addressed, really. I didn't hear exactly, besides you guys maybe jumping in and funding liquidity pools for certain markets, but as you create markets, you're gonna spread that liquidity a little thinner across the board, aren't you? Is there, I don't know, something a little bit more concrete that can fix this whole liquidity, like a shared liquidity pool all around for all the created markets or something like that? Is that something that you guys maybe can implement?
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's a very good question. Yeah, you hit it right on the dot. Sorry, was there a second part to it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that was partly my question as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think starting off, right before we even came out with live odds, I think Katz is very much aware of this. We had a huge problem of exactly what you mentioned of we need a lot of liquidity, and the money is real money and it has to come from somewhere. And we had challenges of getting people on board to invest, and we eventually got enough to be able to push out the platform. But as the platform grows, and I think this is a challenge, as you mentioned, a lot of other prediction markets have, is as the platform grows, you need more liquidity. So it's a never-ending problem for all platforms. And the thing is we kind of hit on this a little bit before you want to have a crazy amount of liquidity on all markets, but you don't want it to be unlimited, right? Because if it's an unlimited amount of money, let's say $5 million on a market that there's only $100,000 in volume, the price won't be affected as much on the market. So if it's a 50-50 market and you put in $1,000, it's just going to stay at 50 cents, right? And that's not maybe something we want to see because it doesn't make it as interesting. It's you playing just against yourself, right? If the prices don't get affected, you're pretty much just betting whether you're going to win or lose. and selling early on won't really make sense. You know, you want to be able to buy at 50 cents, be that first dude who bought at 50 cents, have other people buy on top of you, and maybe sell at 70, 75, 80 cents. And if you increase the liquidity too much on those, then you won't get that effect, right? Unless there is $100 million in that market and everything's going crazy. So it's a very much a dynamic challenge of, as a platform is growing, we have to very much keep track of how much volume we're getting on what markets and how much the overall platform is growing, and slowly increase the volumes that way. So right now, if there's $1,000 on a certain market, we want to be able to add like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for it, and have the price be changed enough where it's interesting for people, yet it doesn't block them from betting. You know, if someone wants to bet $1,000 on a certain market, they should be able to do it. And it shouldn't just immediately hit 90 cents, right? So it's a very good point you bring up that, yeah, we could have a centralized liquidity for everyone, but if every market's liquidity is like 100,000 or 10,000, like $200,000, then the price change won't affect as much. So it's definitely a challenge. There's always solutions which we kind of implement from everyone's kind of suggestions into it, but it's kind of something that has to kind of grow. And I think with the integration of AI, I think a lot of those problems will be solved. But I think there will always be that little bit of an issue of, hey, every market is going to be a little bit different, and especially when there are users creating them, because when platforms create them themselves, they have a pretty good idea. They do their research on it. They know why or who will be betting on this. But when other people create them, it's something very niche, which we ourselves are not even aware of, because there were some things on, for example, video games. I'm not really a video gamer kind of guy. I used to play back in the day, but like there were some questions on, I don't know, certain video games which I didn't know a lot about, or the teams that I didn't really know a lot about. So I didn't know how much volume it was going to get. So we kind of made it dynamic. We kept it as on our watch list, and as the volumes would grow, and they were like, oh, there are actually people interested in this, which I wasn't aware of. It was just me not knowing. And then we would slowly increase the liquidity on those. And I think the best kind of solution is kind of a dynamic addition of, right now, maybe there's not a lot of volume and we want to see people's prices go up, but as the market grows, we want to also be able to grow with it. So kind of like a dynamic expansion. But stay tuned. I mean, there's ways to do this, and there's right ways and there's wrong ways, but there's a merge of both will give you something that's functional, and we're currently working on it.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Looking forward to it. I'll be checking you guys out. Definitely a big fan of the virtuals ecosystem and Base as well. So worth looking into. I'll be spending some time on your platform. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Trey, what you got?
Yeah, no, I a lot of the questions I had during the whole interview, I pretty much were answered. But the one that really kind of stood out to me, what are you guys doing for like getting new users to come on board besides tailing off of, Base and everything? Like, do you guys have a user acquisition plan or anything?
Yeah, for users, it's been a very much like an organic growth, which is kind of good to see. I think with coins, there's two parts to our app. There's the token part, which a lot of people are just interested in, the Predi token, and there's the platform part, which are like avid bettors and avid users, which are also want to get into. And with the token, it's been kind of it's been going up and down. I think it's doing actually pretty good, but it's kind of more of a hype thing where you push out kind of a couple of newses and people get excited and they want to buy and sell it and they want to make a lot of money on it. And then there's the other side of people who actually want to bet on the platform, make money that way, have fun that way, and we don't want it to be one of those things, one of those platforms where you get 100,000 users in a week or so, and then they realize the platform is not where exactly it needs to be, and then they drop and they never come back. Later on, we could make an app that's perfect later on, but then they would have that still a little bit of thought in the back of their head of, hey, I used the platform, and when it was very much new, and it wasn't exactly what I wanted it, so I'm not going to revisit it. So we want to have a kind of an organic growth for the platform itself. The platform has only been out for a couple of months now, and I think the trend has been going up very well. But if we start off with a small community, especially since we're a small developer team, we can implement all the good ideas early on. But if there's a lot of users right off the bat, it becomes kind of a challenge. So yes, we're obviously want to increase our number of users and all that, but we want to kind of be an organic growth where the platform itself talks and we don't have to advertise it for something that it's not, because we get this feedback a lot that of, hey, I came and used the platform and it's actually really good and it's really smooth and it seems very undervalued at the time, or it seems very, why aren't you guys growing it as much? And it's kind of a thing where, yeah, right now it's perfect, or it's not perfect, it's growing slowly and we're becoming very well, and at some point we want to hit that perfect mark. But as the users increase, we'll be able to do that, because if we get a huge hype and there's millions of users in there, then we won't be able to do that. And there'll be so much volume that we get kind of overwhelmed and we won't be able to implement everyone's suggestions. So we're kind of going with that organic growth, but yes, we're definitely advertising. We want to get people out there. We're doing rewards for people to come and bet on the platform and kind of get that early on, because a lot of people are not familiar with betting apps. And I think as it's growing, the platform's also growing, but a lot of people when they want to come and challenge, it's been a kind of a thing where nobody wants to really try new platforms. And yeah, some of the rewards, we actually removed a lot of them because it was due to the old V1, and then now we're having the V2. So stay tuned. They're going to come very early at some point this week or next week. But we want to be able to give people rewards on trying new platforms. It's kind of a rewarding thing of, hey, you're risking your money, so you should be able to be rewarded back. And we added rewards in many different ways. We had airdrops. We've had, we do buybacks for our tokens. And we do a lot of things where we have leaderboards of, hey, the top bettors and the top winners get a certain amount of extra predi on top of what they're already winning. So those are some of the rewards we're adding. And we're adding some of the cool new reward systems, actually, and something related to gifting as well. So stay tuned for those.
Man, great answers. The directions, man, just so exciting. And I'm with you with like the organic kind of growth of the platform feels right. And I've been, you guys know, I've been tracking the growth of the platform. Last month, all-time high in users on the platform, like smashed it. Basically every metric was smashed. New users, like retained users, transactions, just like across the board, everything all-time highs. And some of it relies on market conditions, and like we've been talking about, it's not great right now out there, but when that's back, I'm expecting to see everything else just smashed again. So exciting stuff.
November will break all the records. Now that live odds, again, we're a couple days into live odds. November will absolutely smash the records.
I think so. Dude, last question for me. Does the legacy site still work? Can you make bets over there? They're both live?
Okay. Yeah, because there's a lot of people who still have money in the old legacy website. So yeah, you can click on it and it works, and the website's still out there, and we're still resolving markets there. But the total number of volumes have kind of dropped. Less people are using it. Obviously, makes sense because live odds is way more exciting. So we'll have people. We'll still have markets on there, and it's live, and you can make and create markets, and you'll get your markets resolved. But I think eventually, organically, it will die, and once everyone's money is out, we'll kind of close the website.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. Yeah, and at that point, like I had some markets I never claimed my winnings or my fees and whatever, and so I was over here on the news site. I'm like, oh shit, they're gone, and I'm like, oh, there must have been a cutoff or whatever. No, I just went back to the old legacy site, which is linked at the top, and it's all there for you still to claim. And now I know you can still make bets. So if you want to do a poll, I think you can do it over on the legacy site still.
Yeah, polls still work on the legacy site. Yeah, but we'll move that over to the new one as well. We'll make it a little bit more exciting, especially with live odds.
Man, so, super cool. Audrey, any final points or things you want to make sure that people know about before we wrap up here? And Katz, any final questions or points as well?
Yeah, what I kind of want to say is, honestly, thank you for having me. This was very exciting. For a 6 a.m. show, it definitely hyped me up. For the rest of the day, it's gonna be an amazing day, and I know it. And yeah, go check out the platform. Let us know what you think. We're growing very rapidly, and we want to be able to support everyone, and we're doing the best that we can to be able to do that. So come check out our platform. If you have any suggestions, let us know. And we're a very community-driven platform. So I think if you come join a community, I think you were here to stay. I think a lot of our users don't kind of go away. We see users from day one still betting and still making, still buying our tokens and selling and buying. So come join us, come say hi, and we'll definitely, the developers, me and Mo, will definitely come and talk to you. And if you have any certain questions about anything, just create a ticket. We answer all the tickets. I mean, we're hitting some high numbers for these tickets, which is kind of exciting to see. I mean, there's a lot of questions and a lot of them were answered, and it's been great. So come check us out. And we actually just dropped merches. So this is one of them.
Badass, dude.
Yeah. So they're actually very good quality. I actually wore them myself. They're kind of like a jersey material, so it's been very good. We have a couple of different designs coming out, so we'll push that out. We'll give it to you guys as well, so you guys can check them out and give us some feedback on them. And yeah,
Let's go.
That's killer. Is that live now, or you said, or it's coming? Where you can?
Oh, those are coming. Yeah, we're checking out some of the designs currently. We see what people like the most, and we'll push them out there, and then we'll have a little website, and and maybe we'll let you guys buy them with Predi. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that works.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool.
That's
okay, I'll be
spicy. I
buying.
like that.
Yeah, for real. Dude, real treat to get you on here, and you get, like, open door always when there's like updates that you have for the community, and you don't have to stay for an hour. You can come in for 5 minutes and pop in and just give those quick updates. But again, always welcome on this show. Guys, PredictBase.app. Get on the site, make some bets. I'm going to throw up a pineapple pizza market at some point today. Audrey going to like it or not. We'll see. Follow them on X. It's at PredictBase.
I'll bet on one side of it. You'll know which one I was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point. Good freaking point. Follow them over there. Follow our boy Cats Fanatic. He's fucking great, man. Love having you here, Cats, and blast like always. Cats Fanatic 0G. Dropping all these in the chat for you boys. And you can follow us at CryptoSlam.io over on X, SlamAI_XYZ. I just need a graphic that does all this stuff. It's ridiculous. But and then subscribe over on CryptoSlam over on YouTube. Guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Peace.